Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review. Better Call Saul, Season 6, Episode 10, Nippy. And oh my goodness, here we are. We're in a complete Gene episode. I think all of us thought a Gene episode, or a bunch of people thought a Gene episode would happen, or we'd get a lot more Gene scenes. But I don't think, I didn't predict anything that was going to happen in tonight's episode. What a sort of curveball episode. We get a whole Gene episode post the Jeff scene. At first I thought it was a prequel to the Jeff scene, and then it turned it around on me. And we see Saul Goodman poking out. He doesn't even care anymore. He's running around like Saul Goodman, talking like Saul Goodman, screaming in scams, doing a scam for no reason. Well, it is a reason to set up Jeff and his guy to make sure that they never mess with him again. But it's an amazing episode. I really enjoyed this episode of Better Call Saul. It was, again, sort of a curveball episode. I think it's a precursor to a lot of time shifts that we might go through in these last 3 episodes. I think just because we're in the Gene timeline now, or we might start the next episode in the Gene timeline, doesn't mean we're not going to go back to Breaking Bad era, go back to Better Call Saul era. But in a way, the whole series ended last week, like the main series. This seemed, even with the new intro, people were wondering, I saw people in the chat or people in the comment section wondering what they were going to do with the intro, and they do that VCR intro thing with the blue screen. I thought that was effectively done and answered a lot of questions, because at least that was one of those things that some people might have thought, oh, they're going to forget about that. That's not going to matter as much, but no, they did it. The tape ran out. We get the VCR tape, and we're kind of watching a different show tonight. It had a little bit of an Ocean's 11 feel to it at times, with setting up a scam, or a little bit like 5A from Breaking Bad when they're setting up like the train robbery and all that sort of stuff. Let me get in here, everybody. Hey, everybody. Welcome tonight. This is going to be a fun episode to talk about. I know some people might have wanted a different thing with this episode and might not have been feeling it. That's cool too. Like I said, it's never an echo chamber in here. If you're not feeling it for whatever reason, please share your thoughts in the comment section, as well as your positive thoughts about this episode. I want to hear it all. 7-8, and you can also call on in or text on in live, 781-990-8509. We have a voicemail line. We already have one voicemail in the tank. We'll play in a little bit, and we'll have more along the way tonight. And if you want to text on in, if somehow I miss your chat when it rolls by, because I'm not alone here. I might do this by myself, but I'm never alone, because I got with me the live motherfucking chat. We got the chat with us tonight. Let's see who's in the chat room right now. We got, let's open it up here. Oh, we already got our first super chat of the night. Thank you, Dracaris, bitch. We're not friends, we're done. I need to hear you say this. We're done. Damn. And then say it. Say it. They couldn't straight out have him say my name, but you definitely saw, I mean, he mentioned Walt. He used Walt as a life lesson in his own life. I thought that was interesting, again, to be in that future timeline. Just the kind of surreal feel of that, of being in a world that Walter White happened, and how that would affect him. His con man skill is at next level. He's evolved. He has no mercy. No, he's not Breaking Bad. He's not the same character as Walter White. He's not Jimmy will never be a cold-blooded killer. And you can say whatever, Walt, but come on. Walt would kill anyone that got in his way. Ask Mike about it. Even when he doesn't get in his way, you know, Walt will do crazy stuff. Jimmy's never exactly that. He is in a lot of ways a lot more calculating, less Walter is a reactor, you know, and he makes some smart decisions, makes some last minute choices, some exciting moments that Walter can pull something out of his ass. And Jimmy does the same thing, but he's also so planned. This was, I mean, you kind of knew what was setting up here in a little bit. I wasn't sure exactly where they were going. At one point, I thought, is Saul trying to create a new crew? Is he redoing his whole setup from the original kind of thing? You know, he's getting his 2 new guys. But I almost thought at one point that Tony's theory about someone poisoning a Cinnabon was going to happen when they were showing the cops eating the security guards opened it up, eating the Cinnabons and stuff. But basically, this is a getting Jeff out of the way. I also know some people are going to probably want to talk about the recast and imagine this with the other actor. I'm definitely open for people mentioning that tonight in the live chat too. I definitely thought it was a different feel than it would have been with the other actor. I still thought it was effective, but but being a fan of that other actor definitely would have been interesting seeing him. I don't think it took away from the episode, but I did think that a couple of times. What would it have been like? How would it have felt a little different with the other actor? But more importantly, we did have our Carol Burnett cameo in this episode. All the talk about the character being, a big cameo. She was really prominent in this episode. She eats up screen time when she's on screen. Her and Bob, I want to see them do a buddy comedy of some sorts. Like when they were on screen together, their comedic timing was really great, even with New Jeff, because New Jeff's more pathetic than original Jeff. Original Jeff was more menacing. This guy is more pathetic. And I'm wondering how the old Jeff would have played this kind of pathetic, because I always felt bad at times for New Jeff. Like at the end of this episode, you just wanted to New Jeff just wanted a friend. At the end of it all, he's just like, I want this guy. I want Saul Goodman to be my friend. But Dracarys bitch and gave me chills. And the Walt reference was great. Let me give you a drink for that. Dracarys bitch, thank you so much for the early super chat before the show even says. Armani suits, Air Jordans for me. And I like how all these little teaser things that they're showing us, whether it's this thing with the Cinnabon being eat in the ring, the pinky ring, or whether it's hearing like what we get in the teaser from one episode to the next, hearing that speech, they're actually giving us relatively important stuff, but they're giving us to us out of context completely. So in this next episode, we see the crossroads. Are we going down the crossroads so we can sell our souls, so we can learn how to play electric guitar? Is Ralph Macchio going to be there? I mean, is this going to? I don't know what's happening. I'm done trying to predict what's going to happen on this show, and I'm just going. I'm riding this train high on something or other, and I am going to keep going on this train. And let's get these super chats out of the way here, and then we'll open up the chat some more. This was a fun episode, which served the Saul Goodman final act. We needed, I think, more of a light-hearted episode after the epic opera-like thing that we finished leading up to this point. And I did miss Kim. I almost expected her in the mall at the end for some reason. I don't know if anyone else had that perspective, but probably because I mentioned that in a stupid video I put out when I said that I think Kim's going to show up on that damn mall. So, of course, I thought I saw that. I wanted to see that. I was trying to manifest that into existence. But when the mall at the end, when he was all happy and he's skipping Dixie, whistling Dixie, not skipping Dixie. What the fuck's wrong with me? Whistling Dixie and walking down the street there all happy that his Cinnabon success is okay. He is, Lotus, leave it. He is so... I almost expected Kim to come around a corner or something like that, but no. I did miss seeing Kim in this episode. I definitely will reiterate that I do not think that we've seen the end of Kim. It's not going to happen, but next episode, she may be in a major part of the episode. I tend to think what's going to happen in these next 3 episodes, and obviously we'll get into it. I mean, we're going to talk about this episode. We're going to break apart this episode, but this is one of those episodes we can just say what happened in 5 seconds. Like, this is the plot of this episode. This was about moving that Gene plot along, giving us a lighter hearted kind of dynamic, and set us up to a situation again where we go, where the freaking mother hell do they go from here? It's just, what is the next payoff that they go from this situation moving forward? And I think that's the most interesting thing here. And what I think is going to happen is we're going to move back and forward through time. We're not going to just keep moving forward in the Gene timeline, although we will keep doing that. This is just our first introduction to the Gene timeline. Next episode, I assume, and this is just my perspective, we're going to get part of a Gene episode and then go back towards the Breaking Bad timeline. Which episode is it that Vince is directing? Is that 12? So that's going to be the Walt and Jesse popping up. I know some people, myself included, said maybe they'd show up tonight or maybe they'd show up in the next episode in 11. But at this point, it's probably the episode that Vince is directing in episode 12. And that's going to be closer to... I don't even know. I want to stop doing the predicting. Let's get into these super chat donations. Poor new Jeff. Tristan says, all I can think about is how many Cinnabons Terry from Parks and Rec would have had to eat off in multiple takes in loving every goddamn second of it. I remember in the movie Groundhog Day where Bill Murray's eating all the food. I think it was Andy McDowell telling the story, maybe Chris Elliott, about how every single take he just kept eating more and more food and more food. How it was ridiculous. And what was that? But that was a good, fun episode. And I think this was definitely a fun episode. Get into the live chat. See, again, we get someone like Joey saying the episode sucks. You're free to share those thoughts in this live chat, and I want to hear it too. If you want to explain why you think it sucks, call on in at 781-990-8509. Leave us a voicemail. We'd love to hear it. I think Walt and Jesse are more than one episode. It's very good point, Josh. It's 3 scenes over the course of we don't know how many episodes. The Four Zebras is worst episode of the series. Stateless says, I'm over Kim. Jimmy is the king. Narco is right. This episode was like the Fly episode of Better Call Saul. You could say that. It's going to be divisive like that, I think. Some people are going to really like this episode, and it's going to give them what they wanted. Some people are going to have wanted something completely different with this episode, and that's what I love about, I was going to say like love. Somewhere in between like and love. That's what I love about this show. It can kind of give you anything at any time. This was something that I believe was coming at some point in time, and I think you needed to, for my benefit, you needed to reintroduce the Gene timeline now so you can end with it. So you do this and then you lead this for the next 2 episodes for 11 and 12 are going to be doing some different things, maybe touching in on the Gene timeline every moment, but then coming back to it. And then our final episode is going to close here. But this again is sort of a game-changing kind of episode to think, where could they possibly go? And I know some people might bring up that we've reached so many high points at the early parts of this season that how can they reach another huge high point? And all I'll say is I trust these guys and things are percolating. This episode is something that I think is going to set up other things. We need to set up now that Jimmy is not worrying about Jeff for whatever reason. And he's starting to feel Saul Goodman again. This got him a little high when he's walking past the shirt and he holds it up. We ended the series once from the Better Call Saul standpoint, from getting him to Saul Goodman from Jimmy. I think the end half of this series is going to show how Gene becomes Saul Goodman again and see that process. And I think this was the starting point of it. So yeah, hold the fuck on. Justin will say, people don't think this is a filler episode. You know these writers know what they're doing. It's called setup. Absolutely, Justin. That's how I feel about it too. Joey says, but the whole episode didn't like Kim with this. I trusted these guys. Magic. Well, again, you guys feel that way. Why are you talking about me? Saul Goodman, stay in hiding, baby, in the live chat. Soft Patch, I was so delighted to see Carol, thrilled to see Pat Healy. The kitchen scene was absolutely hilarious, saying much without saying anything. And that is a big, almost a defining sort of way, characteristic of this show. Saying so much without saying anything. Hello, Kevin. Now we're beyond the 10 episodes for the first time. What do you think they'll do with the title sequence? So far, there's been a regular pattern. Will be interesting. Tonight, they did the stop where they stopped it because this was the last point that you could do the intro. And they showed us that blue screen with the VCR font. I wonder if they're going to stick with that or what they're going to do moving forward in episodes 11, 12, and 13. Now that that's an interesting question moving forward with that, what they did in this particular episode. We definitely have this is worth it. I'm going to put a poll up here. Did you feel this episode? Did you feel this episode? Okay, I'm just going to do a simple poll here. Ask the community. Did you feel this episode? Yes or no? We'll have that poll open for the night. I know there's more subtle answers to that, but basically, let's get this into the easy binary choices here on the Issues program. Did you feel the episode? Yes or no? Absolute JP, and that's what I think about almost any episode on this show. It's always leading to something. So let's get into the live chat. Get into our voicemails. We've got a few voicemails in the tank. Let's listen and see what some of you guys had to say about this particular episode. And this is from area code 435. Whoa. There's music playing? Why is there music playing? This is area code 435. And we've got a malfunction on the first voicemail. 435. Feel free to call back after if you fix it. Here we go. 808.
Hey Phil, this is Zach calling from Vegas. Just waiting for you to get on, man. I can't wait for this. I'm behind you guys, so I'm gonna be late, and I gotta get this shit spoiled for me. I know you like spoilers, and I like spoilers too. So
bring it on.
I can't wait to figure out what's happening, and I don't know if Walt and Jesse is up in this. And
no, not tonight, my friend.
I just can't wait, man. So yeah, have a great stream. I'm going to be watching, and then you'll probably ruin half of it for me.
I will probably ruin half of it. Basically, Gene came back. We got a full Gene episode, and he set up Jeff and his buddy in a scam. That was basically most of the episode. We also got a lot of hijinks with Carol Burnett. This was more of a take a breath comedic episode. And again, like I said in the live chat, it's gonna be a divisive one. We already have 220 votes right now. Make sure you get your vote in on the poll. We'll take a look at that at the end of the episode and see where people are feeling on this. I'm very curious where people's take on it. And like I said in the live chat, I might be jumping up and down, waving my hands around, saying, I love this. This is what I wanted. But I've been screaming for a full Gene episode for a while. And I don't mind having this kind of divergence. And I think it sets up a lot of importance for how it's going to pay off for Gene in the Saul at the end of the story when the stakes are raised, when he is in a situation he can't get out of, or he can't, where it's too much for him, where the walls are closing in. And I think this was a good setup to show that he still has that in him, and he can lose it again. So here we go again. Now the super chat donation from Softbatch. I always thought the mug falling in the opening was symbolic of the fall of Saul. Now it's been edited. Maybe Saul survives. Old Jeff was much more formidable and sinister. I love the intro. So good. Not the Fly episode. Better Call Saul. Amazing setup, says Joseph. Again, this episode would have been fine if we didn't have only a few episodes. And Tom, I think that's an important characteristic to remember from myself anyways. I judge television, and I feel like I judge it so much different when time's running out on it and I'm running out of time to watch the show, or I'm binge watching it, or I'm watching it week to week. Watching it week to week, I'm like, oh my God, every episode has to hit me. If I'm binging everything and everything's coming together as one big thing, it plays a little differently. Waiting a week and analyzing everything that possibly could happen, and then having an episode like this is almost intensely fun for me. And having something that's just like, oh, okay, this changes the game. And everything gets thrown out and goes back to square one of where the hell are they going with this, and how are they going to end this in a satisfying way, because I know it's going to be satisfying. But I'm very curious, again, to keep hearing what you guys are saying in the chat. I can see that it's a little bit split right now, and I'm here for it, and I'm here to listen to everyone's perspective. And please call in and share your thoughts if you want to at 781-990-8509. And we'll keep going in the live chat tonight. We got Jackie C., the actor filming We Own the City on HBO. Yeah, that's part of the reason why the actor, or it seems that the actor couldn't make it back to play Jeff again. I thought he was going to buy a t-shirt and tie. This episode was going to go to color. I thought that as well. I'll mention that during my notes for the episode when we get into our recap. But I kind of thought that everything was starting to go to color while we were watching it, and that by the end of this episode, everything would be in color, but that did not happen. And Jeff has to have some other connection to Albuquerque, the bad crowd. She did specifically mention the bad crowd. Do people think, will this be the last time we see Carol Burnett, or will she show back up again somehow? I don't know if you guys think it's a one and done kind of moment. I definitely think she still had so much charisma on screen. It was great to see her and Bob doing some business together. We've got Kevin in the live chat. Do you think this, with the super chat donation, do you think this episode's purpose was to end the Jeff storyline, but didn't Odenkirk and Burnett say Burnett would be in the last 4 episodes? He just said, and I think the quote was, we have an actor, a big actor showing up in the back half. And that could have been interpreted by people like me and other people that they were talking about for an extended arc, but it could just be in this episode. I would maybe, but she might be in the final 4 episodes because she is. It seems like that sort of dynamic with Jean is going to continue. And obviously that little touch about the bad crowd in Albuquerque, I don't think was on purpose. And Carol Burnett looked amazing for 89. She really does. She still had the chemistry and she still had the timing with the quick wit going back and forth. What was that? Scrappy Wisconsin. We're going to listen to that when we get into our recap and re-listen to some of those Carol Burnett scenes. It's just awesome to see her on screen. Definitely Saul wanted to put the coat on and turn those in the Wizard of Oz Technicolor. That's an amazing way of saying it, disco ball glitter. And your name makes me think of like the Technicolor, the Wizard of Oz turning to color, or The Girl Can't Help It was another movie that did that. Someone sort of opened a door and came outside and everything turned to color. That must have been so amazing to watch for the very first time when everything sort of melted into color. And I wonder how they're going to transition that back into it in this series. Hopefully she isn't, because then Jeff is also in it. They seemed like the Better Call Saul versions play. I'm in Nebraska, Cornhuskers fan. The show definitely did its research. Wasn't Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul supposed to be in this episode? I don't want to get into this because I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but IMDb is never a source before the episode airs. Anyone can update it. So just because it said Walt and Jesse were going to show up in this episode, and people kind of ran with that particular spoiler, it's tough. And I'm not saying that's where everyone got it, but I think some people did get it from there, and you see people post that over and over again. Not so much, I don't see it personally, but I see it in other places, like in Facebook groups or in Reddit posts or something. People are like, oh, I saw this on IMDb. I know it's not reliable, but no, your first thought was right. IMDb is never a reliable source until the episode is off the air, and then you have the information to go, who was in that episode? I'm going to go to IMDb. That's the only use for that site. Other than that, like going there beforehand to try to get information never really works out. I'm not saying it's 100% never true what you can find out there, but I would say 95% of the time it ends up being bullshit, because anyone can edit and add information there. But if you missed this episode, would have been lost from the rest of the series. That's why I hate this episode. Fair enough. You hated how individualistic this episode was, that you could have watched this particular episode at any point in time in the series. And at the point that we build up all this tension for these final 4 episodes, you going into this episode might not have wanted an episode like this right now. Is that a fair way of verbalizing your thoughts, Goldman Satch? Phil, episode was underwhelming. If Jeff has no direct connection to Jimmy's life, why does he exist? He never really threatened Jean. The whole scam felt unneeded. I think the reason why he existed was to start the snowball rolling downhill for Jean to turn back into Saul. The thing that finally goosed him out of his malaise. That because he was walking through life in the Jean thing, feeling like he was in some sort of prison, the Jeff character spotting him and figuring all that out and trying to be cool and whatever reason he wanted to connect with Saul, and try to pressure him. The reason he existed was for the end payoff of this episode, where he goes full Saul, and you see he's like a smarter, more calculating Saul, and Jeff helped him get there because of his dumb stupidity. Sometimes it's an idiot that pushes the boulder down the hill that crushes everybody, and I think that was the source of him in that point. And I think the idea that he's connected to Kim is an interesting idea, but I'll wait to see how Kim is circled back into this story and how that all works out before I judge it, whether it works as a whole or not, because you can't really see the whole picture until it's completely done. And if this leads Jimmy into Saul again, which makes him not as careful with his actions, which allows him to get busted. Like, there is a way that this leads to something really, really interesting if you follow the breadcrumbs down the street. Even if you weren't feeling this episode, but I personally was. But I'm saying even if you weren't, this is definitely laying some breadcrumbs, and I think Jeff's purpose is being the blunt, stupid instrument that wakes Frankenstein up, essentially. But thank you. But thank you for the comment, and I love the debate. Hans says, super chat, thank you so much, Hans. Let me take the drink. So sad. Gene had it all. Friends and someone who cared for him. The exact opposite of what he told the security guy. He ruined it. You ruined it. You're ruining everything. I was able to predict the heist, though. I loved it myself. Exactly. This is going to be a split difference. We already got 500 votes in the live chat. Make sure you keep those coming. We got a bunch of voicemails we're going to get to in a moment here. And if you haven't already, please hit that like button if you're watching. Hit that subscribe button so you join us every week. When we come back, we'll be back next week and the final 2 episodes after they air to talk about this stuff, break it down, and take your questions and comments. So here we go. This is area code 651.
Yo, what's good? This is Matt from Minnesota.
Welcome, Matt.
I just wanted to say that I thought this episode was awesome, but the one critique or thing that I couldn't help but not keep thinking about was the fact that this is only the fourth, last episode. There's only 3 more after this. And I don't want to say the word waste of an episode, but it almost felt like this could have been put in maybe as episode 1 or season 5. I don't know. It felt like in the last 4 episodes, I need more than this. But who knows? Maybe the next couple episodes will shine more light on this. But I definitely think Carol Burnett's character's got more to offer in this. And let's see how they incorporate Walt and Jesse. What do you think so far? Thank you.
I can hear what you're saying, what some people are saying about the final 4 episodes, and maybe some people might not think this is the best use of time, but we have to establish how Gene's living and see some time living in his timeline to make it make sense, to get a closure point there. So it's hard. I mean, could you have cut this episode with a different timeline? I think you really reached a conclusive point with the end of last week's episode where you get to a point where he becomes Saul Goodman. And I know, again, you want to think about this, or some people might want to think about this in the traditional way that we go from there through Breaking Bad stuff and lead our way back. That's what I thought was going to happen. But instead, now we flashed way forward to this, and now we're going to flash to different points. And I think what this episode sets up and why it's important, again, I'm defending it just because I liked it, but whatever, I'll defend it. Throw the shit at me, the people that didn't like it. Oh, you're fanboy. I'll be the fanboy that gets attacked and I don't care. No, I'm kidding, but keep bringing the perspectives. But I think you need this episode to give you that feeling of anything can happen right now. We can go in any direction, any place, anytime. This episode was not what anybody expected, and that alone is exceptionally awesome for me personally. And Jesse says, I used to play the drums. I still play the damn drums all the damn time. Jesse, were you trying to be like, oh yeah, you're getting the super chats, why aren't you playing a drum solo? Why aren't you playing a drum solo? I got neighbors sleeping downstairs on a Monday night. I gotta be careful. I used to live in a basement 3 floors away from anybody, in my mom's basement where I could play drums. I'll do some tippy tappy for you, Jesse. Give me a second. But I think this show is always bathed in character development moments, more so than its predecessor. And I think that's awesome. This show sometimes comes off like a theater, like you're watching the play, and it's always been like that. And I know someone said this is like a season 1, episode 3 kind of thing. Yeah. A lot of this, but this whole show's been like this. There's been episodes in every season that kind of dive into this, and we have a longer extended season, so it gives us more time for some character growth episodes. And this was a Gene character growth to show you where he's at and start to transition Gene back to Saul, as we're going to reach some giant Star Trek The Next Generation, multiple parallel timeline junction point with all 3 Sauls together. So yeah, sorry. Sorry, everybody. But yeah, the gene timeline is the only one that's completely open for anything to happen. So they have to establish some sort of rules and stakes in that world, and setting him up in a position where it looks like he's in a no-lose position could set it up very, very appropriately for some drama. Drama mean. We do need the Huel spinoff. I want to see Nippy to mean Huel, Lil. That's what I wanted, Lil. Okay, let's get to some more live voicemails from you guys, the callers.
Hey, Phil. This is Dale calling from Florence, South Carolina. My question is, first time caller. My question is the previews after the episode,
yep,
where Gene looks like he's driving up to the crossroads. I wonder what you think about that scene, what you think the next prediction is for the next episode. Thank you.
I think I said it earlier, I think he's going down the crossroads to sell his soul to the devil to be able to play electric guitar like Robert Johnson. I think if we know what's going down, you know what they do down in the crossroads. This show, and sometimes with these trailers and teasers, what we've been seeing is they're extremely on the nose. And if we're coming, then he's going to come to some crossroads in life. I know it's so stupid, but I think they're giving us more obvious clues. Maybe this is a setup of another scam. It does seem like we're still in the Gene timeline in that fast forward. I'd have to rewatch it and re-listen to it to give you an honest answer altogether, which I will do by the end of the episode. Yes. Jesse called me out. The next super chat, we'll do a little drum solo-y stuff. Okay, area code 985. Let's catch up on some of these calls. You guys in the live chat are making this amazing as always. Thank you so much for calling on in, for keeping the chat moving. You guys are excellent. We're gonna have a fun time tonight talking about this episode, whether you liked it or disliked it. We still got 3 episodes, I said, whether you love this episode, hate this episode, or whatever about this episode, we only have 3 more times we're doing this. So let's enjoy this ride, bitching about it or glorifying it or somewhere in between, because this is fun. Either way, this is fun, everybody. For me, anyways. Okay, so let's get to this one, 570.
Hey, Phil, this is Hampton from Pennsylvania.
Hello.
Oh, boy, this episode was a good one. I really enjoyed it so much. I liked how the whole...
You got cut off, but I'm going to say, you liked how the whole scam came together and it all set up that they... I just thought it was hilarious when Jeff fell in his ass, because that's sort of a me moment. I am a klutz. I'm like Goofy mixed... Goofy had a sexual encounter with Charlie Brown and Gilligan, and they all birthed some long-haired Weird Al Yankovic fan. That's me. I mean, that's the truest way of defining me. It's obvious with the Sammy says he or she, I'm not sure with the name Sammy. Sammy says, I am fearful they might not know how to end the show. It's tough to end a show. They ended one show really well. Will they do it again? That is a question for some people. It's a question on almost every show. It's not... It's happened so many times now. It's not normal for one of these awesome drama shows to end good. Most of them don't. Some of them do. Breaking Bad is one of the ones that does. So we'll see if they can... Let's see if they can do the reverse Dexter. Instead of doing 2 horrible endings, they do 2 good ones. Let's do it, guys. Area code 727.
Hey, Phil. It's Lady Stoneheart,
Hey.
calling from Tampa, Florida. I really think that it was an absolutely beautiful episode in the way that, I say beautiful, that it slowed everything down. Like, we've been rush right through everything. And now, like, we got to sit back, laugh a little, smile. We had a cute little montage. Carol Burnett, so precious. And just kind of breathe before we know, inevitably, that the caca is going to hit the fan. I think it was a perfect episode. I was saying 8 out of 10. So, But that's my opinion. So I'm just a simple Florida girl, so who knows? Ciao! Have a great stream, everybody.
Great message. And I am with you. I like the change of pace. We've been going at full tilt for most of the season, and to take this down, sort of do a tempo change, I think really works, and something this show has always done. Even with season 1, where you're going in one direction, and then you have the episode 5-0 with Mike that kind of sets things in a different direction. They like to kind of throw 1 or 2 episodes a season that take things in a completely different direction. And this was our Gene take things in a completely different direction situation. And I'm with you on that. I personally think it's awesome, and they're setting up some really great things. We've got a lot of voicemails and a lot of texts, and we're going to get to all of them tonight. Don't you worry if you called on in. We'll be getting to your voicemail or text eventually here, and thank you for everyone that's doing it. Hey, Lotus, what's going on, buddy? This is area code 407.
Hi, Phil. This is Joel from Florida. So I just finished watching the episode, and I have to say I actually did enjoy the episode. It was great. I was very nervous when Gene had slipped and fell, and seemed a little bit unconscious. I was a little bit worried about that. So
that was really hilarious when Jeff fell down. And he stayed down for a while. Someone in the live chat earlier said they thought he might do a Ted Beneke and like break his neck or something. But he definitely fell pretty damn flat. It was pretty hilarious.
That was a cool scene to watch, and then seeing how Gene ended up turning it onto them. That was cool. But I have to say, as much as I enjoyed the episode, I think I was expecting more. I don't want to hate on this because it was good. And they did.
Definitely. I'm going to play all your message as well. And again, being critical of something, even something you like, even something that other people like too, is never being a fucking hater or whatever. Being critical is important and fun as well. And part of all of this, the ride, is the going back and forth, and all of us coming in here after the episode and talking about what our thoughts are, positive and negative. So bring it. I want to hear it. Personally, my mouth was open the whole episode watching it in that. Oh my God, they did this. They gave us an episode like this. They know everyone's waiting for something. They knew everyone was expecting this, and they go, no, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna give them a Gene episode, and they gave us a Gene episode, and I personally love it.
Did the same thing in the beginning of this season as well. It started off a little bit slower, and then it sort of picked up in the mid-season finale. So I'm really hoping that they hit us with some magic these next 3 episodes, because like I said, I mean, so far it's good, but I mean, when we're talking about the same writers who made Breaking Bad, and you compare this final season to the Breaking Bad final season, Breaking Bad is so far crushing this final season. So I know the shows aren't the same, but just something to consider. So appreciate everything you do. Enjoyed the episode. Hope you have a great night. Take care.
In fairness, it would be tough for any show ever in existence to reach the intensity of the final season of Breaking Bad, where everything was leading up. The only season that probably could do, the only thing that could do that would be season 4 of Breaking Bad with the lead up of the Gus arc. But I'm saying, like, the intensity that gets built up, and I know someone in the chat said it was a little messy for them until that final episode. It brought it together. It was always sort of a more this kind of show. Saul was always more bathy kind of show, a show like Mad Men, where it's not exactly like Mad Men, but a show like that where it's more of a character study kind of piece. It's not always about the plot. The plot is hugely important. It has become more important over time. But I think, at least what I've always loved about it, it's this. And my dog's not impressed, but it's always been that it takes its time more than its predecessor, and as intense as Breaking Bad gets, that's Breaking Bad. This goes to my silly comparison that I always make. Vince and Peter are the best chefs in the world, and they made 2 amazing signature dishes that have a lot of similarities, but one's a little spicier and one's a little bit more savory. And Saul is more savory and Bad is spicier. So I think it's hard to compare it, but it's also hard not to compare it. Because you're right. It's hard not to just, make this a 1-for-1 comparison about how it felt watching the final season. For me, I think you're underselling the Howard moment, the Nacho moment. That all happened in this final season. It's just, it was spread out. It shouldn't have been spread out. this series, because of the unfortunate incident with Bob's heart attack, and obviously, everything else that was going on in the world that stopped production and all that kind of stuff, we got this split season. And as much as I didn't mind that big break, it got a lot more people back into watching the show, and it built up the intensity in the prime. It also, the perception of watching this would have felt different if we're watching 13 episodes in a row, bang, 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 bang. We've had those intense, crazy moments, but they're also going to give us what Saul has always given us since the beginning, this humor, character development shit too. That at times when you're ready for more, me too. I like shiny things, and I want that's like Breaking Bad's my favorite show of all time, and it's hard for other shows to compete with how into that. This is one of the ones that does. It's in the competition. And we're going to get into that as this series ends, when we finally can compare the series as two wholes when they're both complete. And when you do rewatches on both, which ones do you re-look at to rewatch more? So yeah. I was the caller. Definitely agree with you, Phil. I still really enjoy the season. Thank you, Ultra Killstorm. Nippy should have been subtitled a brave new scheme. This show is becoming my all-time favorite. It's one of my all-time favorites, if not my all-time favorite. It's in that conversation with The Sopranos, with The Wire, with Breaking Bad, with 6 Feet Under, if I'm talking about greatest, not my favorites. I'm talking about my favorites. It's a different conversation. My favorites, Batman the Animated Series, Deep Space Nine, shows like that might not be everyone's take or everyone's favorite series I would put in my top list. But if I'm talking about what I think are the greatest put together drama television shows of all time, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, I'm going to cheat and put them together as one big giant series. The Wire, The Sopranos, 6 Feet Under, Oz, Definitely underrated show in Oz. Mad Men's in that discussion as a great show too, even though it's not as exciting as some of those other ones. I don't have to get into all this big conversation. This is a separate video after the season, so we can have fun stuff to talk about with all of us together after the Better Call Saul is over with. But I do think this show more gears towards 6 Feet Under and Mad Men than it does Breaking Bad sometimes, with some of the crazy action and intensity that Breaking Bad brought you. And episodes like this, for me, and this is how I took it, and this is why I think some of the people that maybe liked it this much, and I can't speak for everybody, this deep character shit that we've been waiting for this shit since episode 1. Since the first time we saw Gene, or me, I'll speak for myself. Since the very first time I've been seeing Gene, I wanted to see more of him. See how he talked, see the tempo of his actions, see where he was in his scam mindset, and not just see these little bits that we see at the beginning half of every season. So even just the luxury of seeing a full Gene scene maybe pacified me in a way to not be completely, fully judgmental of this episode in the way I should be, because it was giving me everything I wanted, so I couldn't help but love it. Because I've been wanting this since episode 1, to finally see an episode to see Gene in the post-Breaking Bad timeline, because now we're in sequel territory. And that's pretty fucking awesome. So the only thing that Jeff was incredibly clueless to is that Saul was up to something. Wouldn't you track him down to give him merchandise and scam? Is Jeff the stupidest ever? Cohort, good damn question. And one of those things I wonder, did they recast Jeff? Not because this guy's schedule was off, not because whatever, because they didn't believe that the original actor could play this stupid. Because new Jeff is dumb. New Jeff had a Cliff Clavin vibe about him. Did anyone else get that? I don't want to go all cheers here, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if new Jeff stopped being a cab driver and became a mailman and went down to a bar where everyone knew his name and started going, so little ordinary fact about Saul Goodman. Like, he just came off as like really stupid and pathetic, where the last Jeff, and I don't want to dwell on this too much because I don't think it ruined anything, but I wonder now, I want to hear the story. I can't wait for the Insiders podcast, this next episode, when they'll obviously have to mention what happened. But I wonder if they chose to recast him just because they needed Jeff to be more pathetic and they didn't believe the other actor could play that as well. Because this guy played pathetic. well. This dude was Cliff Clay. Oh, Jeffy, little pathetic Jeffy. Oh, he was a little bastard. Norm. First episode is either the fast forward episode, terrible Sammy. What do you think the last line is leading to? That he's telling Kim to go and join him in Omaha, or go and leave him? You mean in the preview that we get for the next episode? I don't know. It's hard to tell when that is exactly. If we're going by what happened in this episode, it could just be him saying that in the middle of a random scam. We got Soft Batch with a super chat donation. Thank you so much for the super chats. And we're going to keep this intro part of the show going on for a while here. We're going to get to the recap here and watch through this episode a little bit. But again, this is a different kind of episode where it's more important to talk about what happened and the ramifications of it rather than the specifics of going over what happened. But we will go through that in a recap in a little bit here. But I'm having fun listening to what all of you guys thought about this. So this is it for the Marion character. I don't know, Mike. I got to think we're going to get a little bit more from Carol Burnett, but it very well could be. Here's the Super Chat donation. If at the very least, the Gene scenes in the Gene episodes are beautifully shot. Thanks for everything you do in the streams. Cheers. Maud Mary, thank you so much for that Super Chat donation. You are incredible. And yes, this episode was amazingly shot. I love how we get all those perspective shots that they've been doing this season where we see the person coming towards us on camera, or we're seeing it from their angle going towards something else. It's a different sort of setup than we've seen before. It's an interesting new camera angle thing that they're doing that hasn't really been used too much on the show before. Obviously, it's been used in other things, but thank you so much for that Super Chat donation. Here is a bad little drum solo thing. Okay, enough of that. It's late. Sorry about that. Sorry about the subpar drum fun, but thank you so much for that Super Chat donation. I got the drums with me for some more silliness in a little bit. Okay, so the cinematography in this episode was insane. It really was. It looked awesome. The black and white was selling it for me too, with some of the angles down the hallways and some of the vibes, some of the music that was more scam mission-y going on at times that I really enjoyed that too. Justin says this episode absolutely fucking sucked. Opinions, share your thoughts, Justin, if you want to. You can call in at 781-990-8509. Again, that's 781-990-8509. I got my dog on screen just because it's something fun to look at while you're there. Oh, thank you so much, 70s Chase. Let's see. Did we get a call from... Let's see. Here we go. We got this one from... Oh, I'm sorry. I missed this one. Area code 207.
Hey, Phil. I just watched Better Call Saul Season 6, Episode 10, and I thought it was a total disaster.
Do it.
I wanted
Tell
to
me.
see Saul back in his office with that big, beautiful Statue of Liberty. It's so great. It's so beautiful. You know, I actually knew Saul back in the day. It's true. It's true. He's the one who had me open Trump University, and between you and me, that's the best scam he ever pulled. He did a great job. I made so much money. It was awesome. But, you know, I love this show. I love Breaking Bad. It's a great show, and I can't wait to see more. Keep it real, Phil.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the message. And like I said, I'm all for hearing criticisms as well as glorifications of this shit. So keep it coming, my friends. I'm very much enjoying the voicemails tonight. The show is so much better getting your voice in as well as mine. So here we go. 469.
Hi, my name's Sam. I'm from Texas, and I just wanted to ask you, why in Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, why do they always have something at the beginning, but we never see it come in at the end of the episode? Like the mark on the floor that made Jeff slip. Like, was it just me that didn't see that coming? Like, when I saw it at the beginning, I was like, oh, okay, something's going to happen on that. And then I completely forgot about just, like, all these other, like, scenes and incidents that happened in prior episodes. I just don't know why. I always miss these things.
And it's because no one's better, for my money, watching television at calling their shot they'll tell you what they're going to do. They show it to you right away, and then you don't see it coming. It's really amazing. They're basically calling their pitches, and I love every situation. Last Order says, can you just start reviewing? Can you stop with this lead up and just get into it? Jack Me Up says, I thought when he tells Kim to go, it was the replay of the moment with Lalo when he tried to save her, but no, it was not. You're right. It was not. They just kept going. And thank you so much for that super chat. Take one more for you. So you want me to get into it? You're ready for it. You're like enough foreplay. Here we go. It's about that time to get into it. Fine. You're right. It's about time for that recap. We're here for the recap now of this particular episode of Better Call Saul. Let's get into this. If you left a voicemail or text, don't you worry, we'll get to it at some point tonight. But we're going to get into reviewing and recapping what happened in tonight's episode, Nippy. Yeah, my dog jumped off the chair, went on the couch on the other side of the room, and is looking at me like I'm crazy. I am crazy, but I'm excited. Sorry, Lotus. We lost you on camera tonight, but maybe she'll be back in a little bit. Where is Billy? Gotta find Billy. Okay, so we get our cold open intro teaser of this particular episode, and we're immediately in the Gene timeline, which is really awesome. I like how we started off in here. There's no wasting any time. I thought personally going into this episode that we were going to get a Gene scene at the beginning. I did not think we were going to get a full-on Gene episode, which ended up being really, really unexpectedly awesome. So how many continuity errors, snow in Nebraska, full trees, took place over the 2009 Jordans? Oh, people are going to rip apart those Jordans, aren't they? So we start off in our episode here as we're fully in the black and white timeline. And right away you hear that voice.
If I needed a hand, I'd ask for it.
It's Carol Burnett. These perspective shots I've been enjoying all season long. They're doing more of these. And these are some of the things that I don't think they've done previous on the show.
There you go, Mitch. Marion.
Defensive.
Could be worse. Brain's still working.
Is it a pastrami day?
So listen to a little bit of
1 1/4 pounds.
You got it.
Not 1.5 pounds. You overshot last time.
Oh, sorry about that.
What do we have here?
Extra sharp Wisconsin cheddar.
Extra sharp. Ooh. You can keep it, Wisconsin.
So just little moments like that here in Carol Burnett say you can keep it, Wisconsin. This whole intro part, you're wondering where this is going. And Gene presents himself eventually. You see her going back. It's black and white. We see Carol Burnett's voice in the driving in the cart. She's getting some meat. Oh yeah, she's getting some meat. We see someone putting a poster up looking for a dog, and the dog is Nippy. Even me, I put out a video saying Nippy meant cold. Okay. We're getting into this here. There's a moment where we find out that Nippy is the dog reference that we get in the episode. I went on a limb and put out this stupid video where I said Nippy meant cold, which meant Nebraska, which meant that we're going to get a Gene flashback in episode 10. Flash forward in episode 10. Okay, I was wrong because Nippy meant the dog, but we did get the Gene. I don't know if I take that as a win. I'm not going to take it as a win. I'm going to take it as an L and say I was fucking wrong and didn't predict what Nippy said. And even people in the live comment section responded to me when I was saying, the only thing that Nippy could possibly mean is cold. That's right. It means cold. That's all it means. I think I said that in the video. And then people were like, well, it could mean a dog. And I'm like, no, it does not mean a dog. That is crazy thoughts. Never dog, it is. And I was wrong. So Carol Burnett kills it just in the little time. And what we're about to happen right now in this particular moment in this episode, Nippy at the beginning of this episode is about getting, no shit, two comedic legends together in a scene at the same time.
Need some help?
I'm fine.
Agent Neptune, dude, no one could have predicted it. I'm with you. I don't think anyone could have predicted this shit.
I'm sure.
And thank you again to everyone that's joining us again this week. It looks like everyone from last week came back and joined us and brought a couple friends. Keep doing that every week. Let's keep building our audience every week. I swear at the first episode of Better Call Saul that we were talking about it this season, we had like 20 people, and now we're up over 300 people right now. So please keep bringing them, keep sharing this right now. If you haven't already, hit that like button. It helps it get out to even more folks to come jump on over and join the fun as we see little cute Nippy. Aw, I want to call the number. Does anyone want to wait? Let me rewind that for a second. What's the number on the poster? Can I call this? Wait, where is it? Sorry, I want to get it because I know this show in the past.
I'm sure you don't want to push? I'm sure.
Has actually done shit with numbers. So I'm gonna call this number right now. We're gonna call it. It's an actual number. Should we do this on the air right now? Let's see if I can do this. I don't know if it's gonna work, but let's see. 1, 4. Oh shit. Sorry, I ended up closing the voicemail window instead of actually doing it. But let me see if I can figure this out. Let me see if I can figure this shit out. I think I need to get my other keyboard in the other room. Let me play a little bit more of this audio and figure this out.
What happened to poor Nippy?
It was my fault. I was driving with the windows open, before all this hit. And I don't know, something got into him. Maybe he saw a cat or something, but he jumped.
Oh, no.
I pulled right over. I'm screaming my head off, Nippy! But he was gone.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, that is terrible, Saul.
I hope you find him.
If you keep an eye out?
Yeah, I will. I live right over here on Clementine.
Okay, so I want to get back to that number because I strangely want to call it because I feel like we're gonna get an actual response in the voicemail here. Have you seen Nippy? Okay, let me see if I can figure this out. It's probably gonna be nothing. Watch, I'm gonna call someone in the 402 342. What is that? I can't fucking see it. I can't see it. It's unlegible. I can't see the last two numbers. I think it's. Sorry, this is gonna end up being a whole waste of time because it's gonna end up being nothing. But we'll see if I can get it in a second here. But I bet it's something. I bet if you call that number, it's Bob Odenkirk saying, "Have you found my dog, Nippy? Please do it," because they've definitely done things like that in the past. So right when Bob meets her, you just feel like there's some sort of scam going on. We got what kind of scam is going on? Music. We get her moving. She gets her. She gets stuck with her scooter in the snow. Did he somehow set this up? Did he put the snow there around the trees or something? Because it seems like this was all some sort of setup. Phil, be careful. It could be a sex hotline. I wouldn't doubt it. With these guys, it could be something else to do with being Nippy. And the music runs out, and I think it does play again a second time. I don't think Sammy would have a problem with this episode if the whole season were released at once. I think that's a big part of, at least I know some people with episodes, you get excited and you want to see what happens excitably next, and it doesn't, it's tough to... Sorry, I'm really trying obnoxiously to get this fucking stupid number. Is it 9288? I'm afraid to just call someone random. I'm giving it up. Okay, so let's continue with this. And we're in the cab with Jeff. Like our next scene right after our intro that we get. And let's play our ridiculous intro, because we get the Better Call Saul intro with the VCR start, which is really awful. Yeah, if someone can find a screenshot of the actual number and find the number of the Better Call Saul number, let me know and I will call it for sure. I just don't want to get the wrong number and wake somebody up. I completely understand the disappointment. I'm just saying I don't think it's with the show, it's with the writing and scheduling, the waiting and scheduling and stuff like that. Luke called and said it was busy. Okay, then it's a busy number. I was hoping it would be something. We got a bunch of text messages that we will get to in a second, too, as we see Bob and Carol doing some business.
Yeah, you too. Hope you find Nippy. Thank you. What in the world?
And he's like, "You cocksucker motherfucker." And I love just this visual.
Great.
They must have had so much fun shooting this with Bob pushing Carol Burnett in a wheelchair down the street. So here's our intro, the weird intro. The VCR tape runs out, and then we get to the blue tape. Because the show is over. Because the actual show of Better Call Saul, like the main program, has completed in the last episode, and we're in a new program. We're in this VCR blue tape program. Right at that point, we should have all known we're in for a really different kind of episode. And better call me. You guys better freaking call me right now. First episode to rack in one more billion. Wow. And I get it too. Exactly, Lebeck. I'm with you, my friend. So I definitely love the way they did that intro, and I know a lot of people have been wondering about that. I've seen that question in comment more often than I didn't even think about that before the season started. And then right at the beginning of the season, when we were talking about our first half, people were saying that, being like, what's going to happen with the intro at the end of the season? And I guess we answered that question tonight. It's going to go to blue. We've gone to plaid. We've definitely gone to plaid. It's Mega Maid, sir. She's gone from suck to blow. Let's listen to a little bit of JT's message before we get into our next scene.
Calling to give you my theory on tonight's episode and the rest of the season.
Do it, Jay.
I know that you said that when he was telling the guys, I want you to say that we're done. I don't think that was anything to do with, like, Say My Name from Breaking Bad. I think it had to do with Walt. And Walt always saying, we're not done until we say we're done, until I say we're done. Which is why he made them say, we're done. And which is why he referenced Walt earlier when they were planning the scam.
And actually, to your point, I'm going to play the rest of your message. That was one of the last things Walt said to him too before they separated ways, when they were in that basement at the dude's house, at the vacuum cleaner salesman's.
Because he met Jeff kind of similar to how he met Walt, which is kind of threatening and imposing upon him, and then them going out on a scheme or a scam together, and which is why he said to them, somebody came and accosted me just like you, came into my office, and I made them a millionaire. So I can do the same thing for you, which is why he said the same thing, about we're done at the end. And
I love that theory, and I love where you're going with that, JT. As always, amazing messages. I got to get to this super chat. 4 Gene episodes, care to guess? Me neither, says Agent Neptune. I don't think we're going to get 4 Gene episodes. I think we're going to move forward and back through time a little bit. I think half of next episode will be Gene, and then half will show us that we're going to change timelines a lot in the next episode. That we're not static in just this Gene, but I do think we're going to get a lot of this timeline moving forward. I think these final 3 episodes are going to feel a lot like, again, this is my second time referencing it, but All Good Things from Star Trek The Next Generation, where we see 3 different timelines of Saul Goodman and different things happening at different times and all converging into one big outcome of embracing that slipping Jimmy Saul Goodmanness of it all. And I think obviously Kim has something to play into the end of this as well. Agent Neptune, thank you so much for that super chat donation. Let me pick this up one more time and give you a little bit more drum silliness. Block your ears for people that hate this shit. Thank you so much for the super chat donations. Very much appreciate it. I will also take a shot for that as well. People are like, can I pay you a super chat donation not to do that? Do you promise the next time you won't do that? But thank Jesse who called me out for not playing drums. He's like, you're not playing drums anymore. You quit, dude. Gene does need a cue to bring it all together to convince him where the thing started. Okay, 70s movie foot chase drum solo. That's what it was. It was the Jimmy doing a scam thing. So our next scene in the episode after the Carol Burnett stuff is we open right up in our trailer with the new Gene. We're pulling up to his house, and we get leading into what ends up being a very hilarious scene with Carol Burnett, new Gene. And I just want to keep on calling him New Gene, like he's like New Coke. New Gene. He is very much like New Coke. He's very much like New Coke. New Gene. Gene Classic and New Gene. New Gene plays pathetic really well. He really does. And in this scene, he gets eaten apart. I feel like Gene Classic would have played this a little differently, and whether it's better or worse will be a debate for the ages. But this guy plays pathetic really, really, really well, and he plays pathetic awesome here. It's a funny scene. It is. It's a funny scene, and I'm a big fan of the other actor, but I will not pretend that new Gene didn't at least quench my thirst a little bit in this episode. He was pretty funny. But yeah, we get the air freshener. No, Sammy, keep sharing your thoughts, Sammy. If you keep it going.
Call me Gene.
Call me Gene.
Don't worry, hon. He's not an axe murderer. If he was going to chop me to bits, he'd have done it already. Right, Gene?
This reminds me of what it would be like to sit in a room with 2 comedic geniuses at a poker table ripping you apart. You got Carol Burnett and Bob Odenkirk, and I know they're actors and they're playing parts here, but you got Carol Burnett and Bob Odenkirk, and you got new Gene standing there trying to keep up, realizing why the fuck Saul is sitting there right at that point. Ugh.
Well, don't just stand there like a bump on a log. Join us. Sometimes he gets a little...
Old Jeff was more creepy. He was. This guy plays pathetic better. Pat Healy plays pathetic well, and he's pulling off. For me, if I didn't know there was an old Gene, which is an actor I love that guy since Casualties of War. I forget his name too, and he's a great character actor, and he did well in those first scenes too. He seemed more... I almost can't see this actor pulling off the scene that he did in the mall with, like, say say it in like that threatening way that the other actor pulled it off. But in that same way, I can't completely see how the other actor would have done these scenes exactly the same. So it's a trade-off. And I think Pat Healy, is that the actor's name, pulled this shit off really well. And I was watching this thinking, Jeff's a fucking shit fuck. He's Cliff Clavin, and Gene is under his skin and gonna lap him in circles. And he played to his need to want to have a friend, and he played him so perfectly. He's just trolling it. Don Harvey from Casualties. I mean, he's been in a lot of things, but Casualties of War was the first thing I saw him in. I think old Jeff could have pulled off Stupid and Greedy, but he was way more menacing. Yeah, exactly. To me, he was way more menacing and had more edge to him, where new Gene seems, again, like a pathetic mama's boy. What's it? Jeffy?
Nervous around new people.
Ma.
Well, you do. Now, come on. Grab a glass and sit down.
And I love the look they share back and forth. Jeff gets out of the car. Jeff is introduced to Gene, and we get some fun business happening.
Tell him how we met, Gene.
Oh, yeah. I was looking for Nippy.
Nippy.
Dog, poor thing.
Well, he ran away.
And Gene here was putting up posters.
And your mom was on her way back from Hanson's.
And my wheels got stuck in the snow.
Oh, well, that's before the whole thing conked out.
Yeah, but Gene here saved the day.
I love it. I mean, again, I might get more thrill out of this scene than some other people do, but hearing the back and forth witty dialogue between Carol Burnett and Bob Odenkirk touched me in every place in my body, especially coming off the last episodes where we dealt with a huge emotional breakup and all these emotional deaths in heightened extremes. To get an episode like this that we can just bathe in some beautiful dialogue between two of the best comedic actors of all time in a funny, tense scene that is playing against this guy, Jeff, that is just being undermined in a cable guy-like way. I mean, that's what Bob's doing. He's like befriending the mom and looking behind the back and going, I'm fucking with you. Hi, aren't you nice? Like, he's Eddie Haskelling him here. I don't know if it's called the Eddie Haskell scam in the playbook, but it's really effective to piss somebody stupid like Jeff off. And I think all three of these actors really pull this business off for me. And I was loving it and feeling the energy off it. Especially Carol Burnett's giving this her all, and her delivery is sharp and bang and on point. With the comic beats, we're getting very much a beat scene with the two of them. Every time they're in a scene together, you can just see they're like, I get to work with Bob Odenkirk, I get to work with Carol Burnett. And they pull it off really well. It reminds me a lot, I've mentioned it before, Carol Burnett was on Glee many years ago playing Sue Sylvester's mother, and seeing her and Jane Lynch get together, and Jane Lynch isn't Bob Odenkirk, but also very funny and has excellent comic timing. You can just see when Carol Burnett can work with anybody that has that speed. I mean, she used to work with Tim Conway, maybe was that his name, Tim Conway? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Who was just one of the quick, as I'm slow trying to think of his name, Tim Conway. What was his name? I forget it. Like him and Jonathan Winters and Robin Williams are some of the quickest off the cuff people ever in the existence of comedy. So Carol Burnett has that in her instinctual being to be able to keep up with fast comedians and fast people. And obviously she's the same way. So yeah. Okay, so Jeff is introduced and we get some fun business. Gene adds Mary and her just a nice pair.
And fix my dumb scooter with duct tape. To Gene.
Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, we got another super chat donation. Thank you so much. Melissa S. says, I was so certain Marion was Kim's mom, shopping the hinky dink type in the Red Cloud, sassy old bitter and all alone. I imagined, or I strive to be her. I'm gonna add to that. I strive to be her, as I have to pour another drink for your super chat. No one wants another drum solo or a spin of the wheel, and God forbid a trumpet solo. Oh my goodness, no one wants that. Jeepers creepers, Lotus. Leave it. So And thank you so much, everyone. Even Chuck had a Carol Burnett reference. Carol was besties with Lucille Ball. Enough said. If you ever want to go back and watch some interviews on the Dick Cavett show, there's actually an episode with both Carol Burnett and Lucille Ball. It's very interesting seeing the two of them together. It's almost like, as much as Carol Burnett was a fan of Lucille Ball, it comes off the other way around. Like Lucy is so into Carol Burnett. So it's really fucking great. Emerald says, wait, I want another jump solo. I don't want you to drink. Don't drink. I thought this was the episode Walt and Jesse were in. Wonder when they'll pop up. I'm guessing now that they didn't show up in this episode 10, I'm going to guess they're going to show up in episode 12, which is the episode that Vince Gilligan both wrote and directed. Someone else in the live chat pointed out earlier, and it's a true statement. We only know that they're in 3 scenes. We know that they were shot out of context. We don't know if they're all in the same episode. They could be in several episodes. All we know about them, again, minor spoiler, if you don't want to hear anything, pause it for the next 30 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's going to be 3 scenes. One with Walt alone, one with Jesse alone, and one with both of them together. So, yeah, that could be in multiple episodes, or it could be all in one. Okay, enough of that stuff talking about. Drinking and drumming, double fisting, motherfuckers. I think they started dropping the ball with a lot of the story was been weird, says Sammy. Drinking and drumming, soft batch says Kim abandoned Jimmy. She is gone like poof. Carol Burnett is absolutely one of the queens or kings or foundation television comedic icons, right up there with Lucille Ball, Jackie Gleason, and I could name a bunch more, but then I'll miss somebody and someone will go, well, you forgot about this person. There's a lot of them, but there's some of those handful of people that just were godfathers in their day, and Carol Burnett was the queen of sketch comedy. Okay, so Jeff is introduced to Gene. Gene adds Marion. They have like great chemistry together. They go back and forth. And then and he fucks with him. He cable guys him some more. And then eventually we get to a point where Gene is talking to him outside.
But you don't have to call me Dad yet.
I don't know what this is about, but all I have to do
You can call me Daddy, though.
Bye-bye, Saul Goodman.
Yeah, but you haven't picked up the phone yet, have you? Or tried to strong-arm me for cash. And guess what? I know why. Because reward money.
Because I got you.
Blackmail,
I got you.
That's not going to tickle your pickle. I know what you really want.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
You
want in the motherfucking game. You want in the game. Defensive Rob says, or Defensive Fob says, this episode was kind of necessary. They established the Gene conflict being Jeff early on, and this episode solved that conflict. Everyone, if you can right now and you're enjoying this, or even if you're not, hit that like button and share this out somewhere, and let's help get even more people in here right now for the remainder of this stuff. So if you can, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this out somewhere to help it get to even more folks. I very much appreciate that. Okay, but I agree. This episode was, obviously I agree, I'm babbling about that a lot tonight. I do think this episode was necessary to establish who Gene is, because we just don't know. And we can say, oh, we know him as Saul, but we don't know Saul. We didn't know Saul too well in Breaking Bad. We only knew a caricature of the real person and how far gone he was. So to get back into Jimmy, we need to kind of see where he's at. And I think he's at a very interesting, dangerous, difficult point where he's starting to feel that Saul Goodman energy again, and it's going to be his downfall. You drew. I will talk to you about that. I'll send you a message off air to discuss that. I did get your email. I haven't had a chance to read it. It'll all depend on the timing of when you guys do it, but maybe I can find an opportunity to pop in at some point in time. I'm excited that there's a Better Call Saul community. There's people talking about it. And the person that just popped in with that super chat donation, you drew views. I checked out their channel. It does some awesome little breakdowns and stuff too. So make sure if you haven't, you check out their channel for their coverage of Better Call Saul. And I think I could do an end of the year celebration with a few other Better Call Saul channels, and I might be able to pop over there too. We will see how the timing works for that. I will touch base with you off air and we'll discuss that. Lalo was the best character in the story, was deflated this season. Well, the best I can say is Saul still has cojones. I meant to cover his identity. Jimmy Saul Gene is a seasoned criminal. He was designed for the game. It's all in the game. He was designed, and I think he's reached his ultimate point. If you know what I mean. He's reached his ultimate form. I shouldn't say point, ultimate form. In the Gene timeline, as he's bringing everything he's learned in every situation, as someone said earlier, taking things he's learned from the Walter situation and adapting it and being a better and swifter con person. Thank you for that super chat donation. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness me. Okay, so let's play Kathy, the department store manager, a sheaf ring. You think she has a secret past too? You think she works with the Chicken Man? So let's get to a little bit more of this recap before we head back to the voicemails. But we have a bunch of voicemails, and we will get to all of you guys tonight.
The game. The one you've been watching your entire life.
Get in the game.
Get your nose pressed up against the glass, peering in while the big...
I love how Gene, he just comes off like a boss here. And when he says this, how do you know you can make it happen? You can see it. How do you know it can work? And he's like, I'm goddamn Saul Goodman. I'm goddamn Saul fucking Goodman. Don't you worry.
It's about knowing all the angles, putting it all on the line and winning big.
Jack me off. Thank you so much for that super chat. You're amazing, my friend.
Suckers trying to pay off that cab, sweating the bills, getting older. It's so close, but damn it.
Was Breaking Bad, Jay, was that the end of your message here? The question was Breaking Bad just a slippin' Jimmy scam? Let's see.
Ended up splitting up the money at the end because to cook using like the extermination thing, and he said, I got this crew. They could have been in on the whole thing and, ended up splitting up the money at the end because, they knew where the truck, Huel and the other guys knew stuff about the truck, where it was. There's a lot of tie-in for how Saul could have basically been planning a scam or a scheme on how to get some of that money. We never, so to say, found out if Jack kept all of the money. He might have kept some of it, but we don't know if he kept all of it. If some of it may have went to...
It's a question here. Like, do you think that maybe Jack knew somehow to go through Saul to launder that money? To me, I think Jack was a one-man force, and he wasn't working with anyone that wasn't in his little crew. I appreciate your message and wanting to wrap this together and all of that, Jay. It's a very good theory and good thought pattern, but I don't know if it's going to wrap in like that, but that would be awesome if it all ends up being one big Jimmy scheme. I like it. Did everyone notice that Gene was more loose and less paranoid than other times interacting with people? Jerry M., yes. And I think that's because he's embracing that Saul persona. Once he puts that on, he stops being a fake. You ever lie to somebody? You're caught in a cheating situation, or you're caught in lying to somebody, and maybe you're a better person than I and you've never lied to anybody. But there's a moment where you're lying and you feel bad and it affects you and it screws with you, and you start treating that person like shit because you're lying to them because you want to get caught somewhere deep inside. And it just comes out. You don't act like yourself, and the guilt builds you and pushes you down, or you're just holding down. You're depressed. You can't figure your shit out. I think that's what's happening with Jimmy when he's Gene and not showing any signs of Saul. His truest form and the thing that protects him from going crazy is Saul Goodman. And I definitely think so. Gene definitely broke a little bad tonight. And I do need to get to some of those. I've had a few that were waiting for a while. So let me get to that. Oh, here we go. Okay. So let's get to a couple of our text messages too before we get back to our recap. Pete's Live Music says this might be Carol Burnett's swan song performance. Emmy worthy. I don't know if it was long enough to be Emmy worthy. If they gave Emmys for cameos, I might do it. This was a very memorable cameo that I enjoyed. Pete's Live Music. I'll also play your voicemail in a second. 803. New Jeff. Do I keep saying New Gene? I do. I'm sorry. New Jeff. Thank you. Sorry, I'm an idiot. Hey, I'm drunk. I'm a little buzzed. I keep saying New Gene, Eugene. I think because I want to say, and I was repeating it over and over again too, like a blatant dumb idiot, wasn't I? I was like, New Gene. What a fucking moron. I should have listened to your message earlier. That was like 10 minutes ago. I probably dumbed myself up about like 50 more times. What an idiot. Bob did the Cubs 7th inning stretch tonight. Oh, he sang? Is this a Bob Odenkirk singing here? We're gonna get this? We're getting Bob singing the national.
1, 2, 3. Take me out to the ball game.
Oh, Bob, go. You go, Bob. Okay, thank you, Bob. You know Roseanne Barr, right? You did it. Take me out to the ball game. But no, way to go, Bob. Kick it ass. Hey, Phil, I was noticing that in all the shots at the end of the episode as Jean is browsing the department store, the manager is in every shot. I feel like she's there so we don't forget her. She'll be back and maybe check the deliveries to discover it was illegitimate and call the cops or something. Soft batch. Certainly a possibility. They did pay a lot of attention to her. They gave her some screen time and gave her some attention. And I don't know if that was just because they liked the actress and she was putting in a good performance, so they added a few wrinkles to her. Or it means more, but I definitely thought that was pretty cool. He is pretty shitty. He's a pretty good singer for a comedian. But yeah, oh my God, thank you for calling me out. Thank you for calling me out on that. I was like, New Gene. The worst part isn't that I was saying it. The worst part is I was saying it so confidently, like I was like thought it was hilarious. Like, New Gene, old Gene. Someone's gonna be commenting on this video later. Dude, you idiot! They didn't recast Bob Odenkirk, you fucking moron. I love the moment when he started crying in front of the officer to distract him because there's a remembrance about Chuck and that I still an unresolved or dealt with emotion relationship with his dead brother, which he covers up by being Saul. Yeah, that was a very real moment. I was thinking about doing a video on that where that was probably the most honest we've seen Jimmy since he's been Saul Goodman, admitting how he really feels. And I also want Kim and Saul to die because they can't do to my brother Howard like that and get away with it. This is area code 407. Thank you. If this episode is too slow for you, then I wonder how you passed the first 2 seasons. Good point, Skill. And let's continue with the text messages. Let's try to clear our text gate here. 978. Oh, right in my neighborhood. Great episode. Had to recast Jeff. ? The original Jeff actor was very intimidating. Not this little Jeffy. And that's my point. Little Jeffy was fellow Massachusettsian. Masshole. Fellow Matt, that's the right answer. Fellow Masshole. 914. And we got a couple messages. Jeff is not connected to Kim, although his mother said he was mixed up with a bad crew in New Mexico. And also said, not since I was in high school watching Kill a Mockingbird have I seen anything in black and white for this amount of time. After all that, a happy ending, quote unquote. In the 4th to last episode of Breaking Bad, Hank and Jack were beginning an all-out gun battle. How could anyone compare these two shows? It is difficult in the context of we were at 2 completely different stages. One was dealing with the drug cartel battles and fallout for that kind of stuff, and one is dealing with more emotional payoff. We already dealt with the fallout for all of our deaths with Nacho and Howard, and we're now in a different time frame where we're dealing with a guy that is in essentially a witness protection not a witness protection program, but has been disappeared, and he's on his own right now. And we're going to see all the things that lead him, at least in my mind, what we're going to see is all the things that lead him back to decide he's going to go back to Albuquerque. I still think he's going to go back there. 872. Hey, Phil, really enjoyed the episode mostly. The only bad thing was that I had a really bad case of the farts tonight, and I was anxious about that. But other than that, I like how Gene is boomeranging back to Saul, and all leads road to Saul. I love you, 872, and that's an amazing voicemail. 616 says, Couple of things here. Most expected us in Breaking Bad timeline this episode. Even halfway through, I was wondering if it was going to jump. Happy it didn't. It takes masterful writing, acting, and editing to make us care about dramatic storyline, like a Cinnabon being eaten. Where do we go from here? Do we still get to Breaking Bad? Is that guaranteed? Could Walt and Jesse still be around? Walt's definitely not around. Jesse, we could get an Alaska flash, but I don't think so. I think we're going to get Jesse wearing a mask or something, cooking meth possibly. I do think we're still going to get some Breaking Bad stuff, but we're not going to necessarily deal with Breaking Bad arcs. We're just going to see Jimmy during that time period dealing with an important issue. Or maybe we'll see Kim during that time period and catch up with her and see where she was during that 2008, 2009 year. Post-credit scene, episode 11 preview also made me think he'll send Kim away via the vacuum guy. Maybe Walt and Jesse had something to do with that. Maybe used to manipulate Saul. And we got a few more what year was tonight's episode in. I feel like the say it was similar to the previous Jeff episode. Oh, like he was reiterating what Jeff said to him at a previous point. I felt like they left the camera on the wine bottle for an extended period of time. Also mentioning the new name of HHM that was from last week. What year was tonight's episode? Someone in the live chat, let me know, what is 2012 the Gene timeline? Jesse's definitely a host now. I think that's been confirmed. But I think tonight's episode was 2012, but let's see if someone in the live chat will can touch upon that. 419, I also knew Howard was doomed as soon as he walked in that apartment. Also, the foreshadowing with the candle is wavering. Oh, that's from May 23rd. Sorry. This feels more like an epilogue starting at this point. This was a great episode, and I can't wait to see where it goes. 100% 419. I got a minute. I got to smoke something just because of your name. But I agree. I think this felt like a starting point. We're starting over again and going to get an interesting 4-episode arc that starts at this point with him thinking, I'm in a good position right now, and seeing how it's all going to fall apart. And that's what I'm excited to see. 2010. Okay. People are saying 2010. We got 362 people and only 142 likes. Please, everyone, if you're watching this, even if you're only like, this is so-so, and why am I even here? Hit that like button. It helps get it out to more and more people and helps me immeasurably. Obviously, the super chats help. Joining our Patreon help. Keeping any other ways you can help us that way helps, but the easiest way to help is just subscribe, share the channel, and make sure you hit that like button because it helps it reaching more and more people. Thank you. Is that on tonight? Is the talking my good buddy the hardest wick? But thank you, 248. And our last text message for right now, we do have 8 voicemails that we will get to at some point tonight. 909. Theory. Wait. Do you think that thought it was cool how Jeff slipped the same way Jimmy did back in season 4 in the music store? Also, do you think the show will go back to the Saul timeline at least once? Because we all know Walt is dead and can't show up. Yes, I 100% think that we're going to get multiple timelines in further episodes. In fact, again, I'll make a short video on this week if I have an opportunity to, on how I think that we're going to get 3 different timelines, possibly definitely 2 different timelines. This and the 2008 Breaking Bad stuff. And this, someone else might have said this in the chat, but it's true. This is why one of the writers, when asked what year it was at the end of the last episode, was like, it doesn't really matter because we fast forwarded anyway, and then we're going to go back to certain time periods anyway. So let's continue with our recap a little bit before we get to our voicemails. We go back home. We see Gene checking his CB radio, and he reaches in his little box. He is day drinking, and this is his everyday. Day drinking, listening to the police radio. But I think it's symbolic that he shuts off the police radio and he puts on his Saul Goodman pinky ring. Like, I'm back. I don't give a fuck. And let's continue here with we go back in our Cinnabon, and he's cooking. And he's closing. He's closing. He's pretty good, but he's no Lyle. He's not opening and closing, but Jimmy's a pretty good employee. And he's got that bounce to his step. As I said in my post, did it suddenly get less black and white? Is the color starting to come in since he put on that ring? Is it a little bit? Are we seeing some color there? I don't think so, but He walks into an office and it's mall security. He says, thank you. And this starts his whole thing. He starts connecting with the mall security guys and trying to set it up. And you start asking the question, what is he doing here? What is his goal here? Is he
fated?
And at first I thought he was maybe trying to poison these guys. Is he trying to drug them? Like Tony had speculated that he might do to Jeff. We get this a detailed long out scene with the security guard eating it and him watching him eat every bite in this extremely tense way that was making me go, why is he thinking this? Why is he timing him? But he was timing him how long it takes him to eat so he wouldn't be looking at the cameras, so he could figure out how long it would take for Jeff to be able to steal all the goods. We definitely need more Gene. Okay, so we go to, and again, I thought this was drugging and stuff, but we hear how much of an amazing bullshit artist he is.
Oh.
Like, we've never gotten this stuff before. We've never gotten to a point to actually effectively see how good of a bullshit artist Jimmy can be, especially at this point in time when he's been through everything. Like, this is him at, I'll say it again, the ultimate form, Saul Goodman.
You want to take a load off? Grab yourself a cup of coffee if you'd like.
Yeah.
Oh. Ooh. I should not be doing this.
He shouldn't be doing it, but he's doing it. You're eating it. You're eating it all you want. The dude is eating the bun. He's cutting it up. He eats every last bite. And Gene is worried that he wouldn't finish or to see what he would do. And this starts he starts the timer. The dude is eating it. He walks off and we go back to the buns. He says a few leftovers and we rinse and repeat it. And then we get a little montage here of him hanging out with the cops. And another thing that Better Call Saul has done consistently awesome, as we see some great visuals of him walking down the hallway and setting this up again as we get into our wonderful montage music.
What were you thinking at halftime?
Well, I was thinking, hey, this could be a long one.
And I'll tell you, you know what I'm thinking about today?
Bellini? Yeah, the coach.
You know me, I go at him when things are bad, but when he does something good, I'm all about it.
I love this Ocean's 11 music. Oh, whoops. I love this Ocean's 11 music. Sorry, I was jamming with the song. I couldn't wait. This is one of the things I wanted to do when I was listening to this. I love this music. I love the montages that they do on this show. Music selections are great. And yes, who eats this with a knife and a fork? Reminded me of the Seinfeld episode where George is eating. It was a Snickers bar with a knife and fork. We go, keep the chats coming. I love how crazy the chat is going tonight. You guys are amazing. I can't even keep up with it. It's really awesome. Keep the discussion going in the live chat. 50% off. Love the split camera angles, the interesting style that we get in this particular episode. So much fun. The music is what makes it for me in this scene. And that's all these little texture touches that they add to these episodes. No, this stuff isn't for everybody, but this stuff is for me. This is the Mad Men-ness of this show that I always love. The bathing in the existence of the characters and these interesting montages that help move the action along, but they don't just do it in a simple, boring montage way. They always make each one uniquely different, pick incredibly fun music. My favorite is still, I think, the Kim... Either the Bob with the thing that you put in auto dealerships, the wind thing, or the one with her in the Post-it notes. I think were two of my favorite montages in the entire series. But I think this season has had a couple of really good ones too. And again, Sammy, near people, keep your comments coming. If you didn't feel this, like I said, I don't like my show here to be an echo chamber. I like to share all the thoughts on the perspectives. That's why I have the poll up right now, which isn't 100%. It's I don't have to tell you, we got over 1,000 votes right now, and we will share the result of that poll at the end. But I will say it's not. You guys can probably see the result as you vote, but it's not 100%, you know. And it's more split than episodes usually are, which I think is probably understandable for this episode. This is going to be an episode some people are going to really enjoy, and this is going to be an episode some people are going to be like, this isn't what I wanted. So. But this is kind of what I wanted, so I suck. You know, throw your darts at me. I manifested this episode into existence. It's my fault. It's not Peter and Vince's fault. It's my fault. Steve Bob, I hope there is a rematch scene where Mike beats the hell out of Tuco, knocks his teeth out. We need to see a celebrity death battle, or we need to see the Death Battle channel on YouTube do a rematch of Tuco and Mike. I would vote for that. And then the next vote, do it. Super Chat Donation. Here's the toast for you, my friend. Woo! Drunkies. Okay, so I love the timing of all of this as he's walking around the mall, looking at things. I'm wondering what he's doing. He's looking at suits. I said to myself, is he trying to steal the suits? As he walks out in the snow and he starts doing some calculations, some paces. And this is at the point where I thought maybe he has a new crew. Is he trying to make new Jeff and this other dude his crew? And no. The dudes are helping. We get the voiceover from the trailer of this episode as Jeff is practicing. And this is the scene. I'll play it when we get to it in the moment. We get the little Walter reference here. Did anyone else here rewatch the Breaking Bad episode Better Call Saul right before this episode in case it went into it? I did that a couple of weeks ago, so it's somewhat fresh on me. Let's listen to this.
Grab your bag and go. That's it, move.
Yeah, I think, Jacob, that's one of the subtle reasons I really love this episode, because of how this opens up the story to anything being possible and completely sort of cold waters a lot of theories people had on the conclusion of the series at this point and where things were going to go and how they were going to go. I like when shows do that. It shows that they're at a different place than you are, and I always like being surprised by the media I'm watching, and I don't mind being spoiled. I don't mind guessing what's going to happen and having it come true. That's always fun to actually have happen, but I love closing my eyes and just letting stuff happen. So let's listen to this little exchange as we get a Walter White reference.
Security sees you on the cameras, and the cops haul your ass to jail. All right, so let's go.
Wait, there's cameras?
Sure, there's cameras. They erase the tapes every 72 hours. So that's why you only take 3 of each and only the pricey stuff. When the store opens the next morning, they won't even know they were robbed. By the time they do inventory, abracadabra, no more Jeffy on the tape.
Exactly why.
So 3 items, 3 minutes. It's easy. Let's go. How many of each?
And this is where pathetic Jeff. This is where pathetic Jeff is really playing strong for me. As he's like doubting it. And he goes, it's crazy, it's stupid.
Just say so. You know what? Screw it.
Tell us the story, Saul.
I'll tell you what's crazy. 50-year-old high school chemistry teacher comes into my office. The guy is so broke, he can't pay his own mortgage. 1 year later, he's got a pile of cash as big as a Volkswagen. That's crazy.
It's crazy, and I that reminded me of a Frasier line when we used to sort of make fun of Cheers without making fun of it, like make a reference, like you did what, where, and like when a Cheers character would come back and they'd make fun of the ridiculousness of Cheers in some ways. You want to hear something ridiculous? A 50-year-old chemistry teacher that couldn't pay his bills came into my office. A year later, he's blah 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 blah. Notice all the shit that he left out of that particular story. But I love the reference to Walter White there as this other dude.
This sounds good to you?
This other dude tries to step up.
Well, look at you. You're
and at first I thought, is this other guy working with Saul too? Because he kind of plays into the scam here a little bit.
Huh? You're probably fast in the feet, huh?
Okay, I didn't say I wouldn't do it. I just had some questions about, like, logistics.
Logistics. He just played him. He played him so stupid. He played him so stupid. And dumbass Jeff is like... And then he convinces them to go back to do it and practice the plan over and over again. So then we come in on the shoes of the mall manager, who, when we saw the shoes at first tapping through, of course, the thought of Kim popped in my mind for like 1 second. They couldn't have not thought that everyone was going to think about it. And we get this little intro section where we see the plan starting to come through. There is a delivery that shouldn't have gone through, and Bob convinces her to let the box stay there overnight. So let's listen to a little bit of that.
Spraying system. The invoice number is 1968 AE35.
Okay, just give me a second to catch up here. Sprayer pump. Yeah, I think I got it. Omaha, right?
Yes, but I run a department store. We don't sell anything like that. Clearly, this is a mistake you need to fix.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry, ma'am. My boss is gonna just... Oh, great. Ricky's booked solid.
Ricky?
He's a driver.
People want some better fuel. That's a great... I love the Huel 8 Kim theory.
Well, Ricky's just gonna have to put the box back on the truck.
A little problem with that. Cargo space. He's got to pick up at the airport in an hour. But it's a messy one, too.
This episode definitely has its passionate dislikers, and I think it's really...
I'm sorry.
I think it's really awesome how much this episode is grabbing people enough to be so affected by these episodes right now because of the emotional ride that they've brought people on this season with Nacho and Howard and everything else to get an episode like this. You know, it's definitely... The opinions of it are all over the place, and I'm enjoying it.
You still there?
Yes. Look, I don't know what to tell you about your...
Fair, Sam.
It's just,
So Saul does and I would say to you, Sam, yes, because we need to get back to Gene and see where he's at and see where his stuff is at. You could argue that maybe we didn't need a whole episode and they could have cut this with something else, balanced it off. But I'm personally enjoyed that we got this, but I understand where you're coming from, and I understand the people that might not be feeling this right now. I will say, look back on this episode when the final 3 are done, and maybe it might improve for you, but maybe it won't. Maybe it won't. But I have a feeling when this is all done, some of the people that might have a problem with tonight's episode might look back at it a little bit more fondly. But I could be full of dog shit right there. I'll happily accept my dog shittiness.
How's this? Yeah. If you promise me that Ricky will get back here...
And William, I don't think it could be, because the last 3 episodes in some ways we're ending a story. This is starting one last one. So we're at the beginning foundations again in this episode. But I would agree. I like this episode. I don't think I liked it as much as the previous few, but I still enjoyed it.
Well, flowers won't be necessary. But thanks for the thought.
No. Thank you.
Did someone say Lost? Is this the island? Is this the Jacob in the Man in Black story episode? For some people. Gene now needs to buy a dog. I think that's what needs to happen. Did Gene have a dog? I didn't even know he had. Have we ever actually met Nippy? Is Nippy real? So the manager comes in. Gene convinces her to leave the thing there for the day, and Gene is setting up his mission for the day to go up and see the security guards after work. And the plan is on. He texts new Jeff. See, I didn't say it that time. New Gene to go. And Jeff is in the box. He's the man in the box. And we get this whole scene a very tense scene between Saul and the guard, where we actually get into seeing the real Gene for a second, or seeing Jimmy again for a second. I think Jimmy comes out a little bit in the speech as he's starting to cry. So Jeff is getting everything. Everything looks like the plan is going completely smoothly. Jeff is grabbing all of the things, repeating everything he needs to do, and he's running away, running.
6,000 more fans.
I don't know. of those luxury suites.
Start saving now.
Wait.
You see
You
that
can't
new
really
beer,
see this thing, but
Guy's feeling his oats.
You can taste it now.
You think you'll ever get out of Osborne's shadow?
and I love how Jimmy's obviously been reading the newspaper to to be able to talk sports.
Unbelievable.
So we see Jeff running.
He dressed as sent from heaven.
Oh no, this is still before. Try to get to the I want to see the Jeff falling scene.
95 team?
So you can tell that Gene, he's not actually watching these games. He's just reading the reading the newspaper. He's in a box. He's reading the speech. He's gets the Jordans. He's running all over the place. Oh, come on. Hurry up and fall, motherfucker.
How about that 44-21 win against the Buffs?
So he's running. And he gets knocked out. He gets knocked out for a pretty long time here. It takes him a long time to get up. That's my one little gripe here. It's when people get knocked out on. He's like flat. He looks like he's dead for a bit. He just doesn't move. When something sucks, I'm going to say it sucks. Absolutely, Nero. Please do. There's a deeper meaning on tonight's episode. Nippy being a direwolf would be a great twist.
Sure looks pretty. Huskers
Nippy is Nymeria. As his eyes are looking, he's watching. The mission is going good. Everything is great. He's running. I am running. Oh, bam. Right on his head. Knocks out. Spits up the coffee. Very funny scene where Saul trips himself.
So, you think our guys are going to move to the Big Ten?
I agree, Rick. Jack me off. Thank you again for the super chat. You guys tonight in the super chats, as always, have been unbelievably amazing.
Both powerhouses, of course.
And we'll get back to this. Perhaps the only episode where Jimmy Saul conned every single person in this episode. And I think that's part of the point that we're getting from this episode, Jack me off, is that Jimmy is in a position of thinking he can't lose right now. He's in a massive win-win. I'm winning. Nothing can stop me. He's being Saul again in this Gene timeline. And he feels like he's safe and stretching out again. And no one can stop him. And I think that's going to lead to a very dangerous place. Let's listen to this monologue. It's pretty funny.
Oh, Jesus.
Gene.
Oh, Gene.
Oh, God.
Gene.
You have a wife, right, Frank? Yeah. And she's waiting for you. Look at me. I got no one. My parents are dead.
Prediction for episode 11 is I think we're going to get multiple timelines. We're going to open up the possibility of going to maybe 3 different timelines in the next episode. And that's going to be the mainstay of the final 3 episodes. I think we're going to start off in the Gene thing, and then we're going to get back to the 2008 time and maybe even back to the original Better Call Saul timeline. I do think, I don't know if it's going to be next episode, but we will meet back up with Kim again.
My brother.
What about your brother? Your brother's dead. Everyone's dead. So right here, I think, is when we start getting, like, he snaps into some truth. I mean, this is where Jimmy really is at and how he's feeling.
I got no wife.
Don't worry, Sam. He's going to get in that DeLorean, go 88 miles per hour, and stop in the Old West and beat Buford Mad Dog Tannen, and everything's going to be okay.
No kids. No friends. If I die tonight, no one would care. What difference would it make?
Gene, buddy. No, I'm sure that you mean a lot to
To lots of people.
If I died tonight, my landlord would pack up my stuff. It'd take him 3 hours. And Cinnabon would just hire a new manager. Gene who? Poof. I'd be gone. I'd be a ghost. Less than a ghost. I'd be a shadow. Just being.
You know what I need? I need to get a. I need to get like a stand or something.
I mean, Frank, what's the point, Frank? What's the
point? It's the slow. This is such an amazing con type performance as he's yes.
I'm so sorry. You didn't need to hear any of that.
No, that's okay. No, that is okay. Everybody has bad days.
You felt like this?
You felt it. You felt it too. Sorry, I gotta get. Like I said, I need to get a stand.
People.
So I don't have to hold it like this. So I could just place it right here, so it's always on right now.
Yeah. Hey, you're not gonna tell Nick, are you?
Oh.
Don't tell Nick.
Of course not.
Well, thanks so much for listening.
Yeah, no problem.
Why? Because I just flashed it on screen for a second. No, I'm talking over it. I'll be fine. We've done this a few times. As long as I'm talking over it, it's considered just a clip. So, but let me know if the stream freezes for a second. And thank you, Grandmaster Jim. Don't worry. So he redirects this. He goes out. Jeff is knocked out. Gene starts to cry to distract him, and he's walking down the hallway. A lot of interesting, fun shot hallway scenes in this particular episode. We get some fat Todd shaming going on in the chat. So the manager opens up the next day. The mall opens and people show up. Some random dude just is in the bathroom. No, it's new Jeff. And Jeff is blending in like he's there the whole time, and he heads off. And the manager is like, Jeff, can we get you something? You don't look like yourself. And he's like, nope. And he's excited, and he scurries his way out there as all the guys start to unpack their goods and see what kind of bounty they have won. And let's see. Oh, nice. The porn bots are here. We have succeeded. The stream is a success tonight. We have the porn bots. And everyone, I see that I still have 10 voicemails and 2 text messages. I'm going to get to all of that tonight when we're done with our recap, which we're almost at the end of our episode here. So let's listen to a little bit.
Yeah, we know.
On how
In
Saul
case you forget,
shuts these
you
motherfuckers
transported
down.
Stolen goods with a value exceeding $5,000, and the truck you used to do it was rented in Council Bluffs across state lines.
You told us to rent the truck over there.
So?
Theft from an interstate shipment, up to 10 years. Transportation of stolen goods, another 10 years. Sale of stolen goods, 10 years. Conspiracy to commit a federal crime.
Oh, conspiracy.
Saul
It was your idea.
motherfucking Goodman.
It's called mutually assured destruction. So, if I go down, you go down.
Man, you don't have to threaten us.
Oh, thank you, Discam. Send to the bots.
I am not your friend. And if you get greedy, you decide to come back for more.
We got a new ranking order for T for the Breaking Bad Better Call Saul universe, the Breaking Bad universe. Nippy number 1, Ozymandias number 2, Chicanery number 3.
Don't. Gene Takovec, you never heard of him. The Cottonwood Mall, you don't go there. You see me coming, you cross to the other side of the street.
That's what people do with my dog.
Now I need you to say it. We're done.
Say it.
Come on. Say it.
Say it.
We're done. Say it.
And yes, whoever said to me earlier that they were clawing back to when he said the say it. Absolutely. I didn't realize that while I was watching it. I was too wrapped in the Walter reference and thinking say my name. I think the Cinnabon needs to make an offer to Lyle to get him away from Polos. I think I'd watch that series. Better Get Lyle, a series about the Cinnabon system trying to lure him away from the Polos. But it's hard for me to imagine that Gus in his will didn't give the business to Lyle. Who else would he give the business to? I mean, I'm sure there's stockholders and stuff in those Polos Hermanos, but really I could see Gus being the type of dude that would give that all to Lyle just because he agreed to open and close. That's a big fucking deal. I don't know about you guys, but I would never open and close. Unless I'm getting some future ownership material. I mean, jeepers, creepers.
We're done.
We're done.
Sam, I will say that I don't agree with your opinion on the episode, but I'm loving your ways of saying the things you would have rather watched in this episode. It's pretty funny. I'd rather watch the vacuum cleaner guy take fake driver's license pictures than this episode. I'm imagining your voice saying it in like a Rodney Dangerfield kind of voice, like, I don't know, I'd rather take the vacuum cleaner salesman right on my fucking ass. So Sam, I appreciate it, dude. People in the live chat are cracking me up tonight. Yeah, Lyle definitely in my headcanon, BTNH, Lyle definitely took over for Los Polos Hermanos. It's like it's not even a question. I think I even said that in my Breaking Bad recaps. That's my headcanon for what happened. So Jimmy says, I'm not your friend. I'm not your buddy, pal. I'm not your dude, man. I'm not your guy. Kiss and then we get one more Carol Burnett scene. I already got the other poll up, so I can't put in another poll, and I want to keep this one up till the end. But the other question I have to raise to some of you in the live chat is, do you think we'll see Carol Burnett again, or is this a one and are done for her? Gene, out of all the names we hear him be called, Gene sounds the weirdest. When someone's calling him Gene, my head doesn't go and think about Gene. I think in my head, think about him as Jimmy. Dave's not here, man. Dave's not here, man. I need some Labrador, man. I follow my dog around all night. Sorry. Three people are going to get those references. Dave's not here, man. Yes.
Well, that's a start. Looks like your problem is the master cylinder.
Look at you boys.
I very much like the VHS tape intro.
Guys, I gotta get going.
Have a good night, Arbo.
Look next time.
Oh, wait a minute. No, you can't go anywhere looking like that. Come on inside and wash up.
Ma.
The way this scene goes with them at the end makes it hard for me to believe we won't see her again, because it seems like her and Jimmy have a good dynamic, that she'll keep him in her life.
Jeffy, don't vex me. Come on, Gene. You can help me.
Thank you, John Haymaker.
Huh, Gene?
Sounds like a plan.
It's actually my favorite scene in any Cheech and Chong movie, that first scene in Up in Smoke when they meet each other and they get pulled over in the car and they smoke the Labrador and then Cheech accidentally takes more LSD than any human being should ever take, and they laugh at the car, and they get pulled over and they're like driving into the sign. It's horrible, but it's probably my favorite moment in any Cheech and Chong movie, in that first scene in Up in Smoke. Either that or Pee Wee Herman going, I didn't steal the money. Ha ha. And then we get Gene and Carol Burnett walking off. Timmy and Jimmy. We get Carol Burnett looking more like Timmy from South Park, walking off with Jimmy. Timmy. That's way funnier to me than any human being, anyone else. But like the visual of them walking off looked like it could be Let me see if I can play this. Looks like it could be Timmy and Jimmy walking off. Look at Timmy and Jimmy. Oh, it's bad. And then we get the end of our episode as Carol Burnett.
You might not know it, but my boys had some tough times.
This line here.
He fell in with a bad crowd back in Albuquerque.
We know the bad crowd back in Albuquerque. Like who? Who are we talking about here? We talking about like Tuco? We talking about Jesse Pinkman and his little crew? Like who are the bad folks in Albuquerque that we might connect to in a different situation later on after this point, where maybe Jeff contacts his Albuquerque crew because of what just happened, and he doesn't go away quietly into this night, and that gets Saul back to Albuquerque. Could this Albuquerque crew be the new Jack's crew for the final part of this episode, this season? I don't know. Or is it just a throwaway line?
Albuquerque, huh? Never been.
Lucky you. But things are so much better for Jeffy here. Even more so now that he knows you. You're a good influence, Gene.
Oh, Gene's a great influence.
Where's my brain?
He's amazing.
I keep forgetting to ask
Yeah,
you
Tim
about
Conway. It was
Nippy.
Tim Conway. Okay, thank you.
Nippy? Oh, right.
Nippy.
You're not going to believe this, but he was with a family the whole time, just a few blocks away.
Oh, well, that's wonderful.
Yeah, he's in great shape. So
Again, I ask.
after all that,
Oh no, we did see him walking Nippy at one point, right? We saw him walking the dog in one of the Gene flashbacks.
a happy ending.
Yeah, next thing we know, the cab driver is gonna pick up Jodie Foster and say disgusting things to Sybil Shepherd. So the episode ends with Saul putting together a really delicious-looking
Looky here.
ice cream shake-looking situation and giving away one for free.
You my lady?
Giving a little extra thing for free, setting up a bunch of
Hey, Jane, aren't you
Cinnabons.
taking lunch?
And he's enjoying his life so much right now, he doesn't even want to take a lunch. Gets forced to take a lunch, and he just walks out of there. I expected something to happen at the end, but no, he just walks out. And we're going to listen to the teaser here at the end, as I expected someone to see him in the mall, but he's in the mall. He relaxes. He smiles. He stares at he goes into the store again. He looks at one of these amazing Saul Goodman-like looking shirts. And he wants to be Saul Goodman. He got the little taste of it. He can't say no. He can't say goodbye to it again. This is what's coming. Fucking Saul Goodman is coming. More of it. He's not going to be able to just be Gene for the rest of his life. You know you're not. You know you're not going to be able to do it, dude. That looks more like a shirt like Tuco would wear than Saul. I don't know. Anyone else see that? I could see Tuco in that shirt. It's a little busy for Saul personally, but... And then let's see our preview for next week. As we end this with Vincent Peter.
I get it. You get over it, okay? Please, believe me. Before you know it, you forget all about it. Go.
Okay, so who is he talking to in that scene? Like I said, this show with these moments is usually on the nose with a crossroads. If they're showing a crossroads, he's going to be at a literal crossroads in some ways. So is he going to meet someone out there to scam? Is he talking to Kim? Is he talking to Marion in that moment? Who is he talking to? It seems more of a serious conversation rather than a Saul scam kind of moment, but it's hard to tell. I don't know. This has me very excited. This episode being a whole Gene episode has me pumped to see where these final 3 episodes will go. I'm excited. We got a bunch of voicemails, and the voicemail line isn't closed. We're going to be on for a while more here, so don't go anywhere. We're not going anywhere. We got to get to a lot of people's thoughts and comments, and also keep your comments coming in the live chat. You guys have been amazing tonight, and thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for sharing out the video for last week and checking all of this out. I appreciate it so much. Listen, porn bot, get out of my channel, motherfucker. So porn bot's gone. I'm sorry anybody that wanted to click on that. So here we go. Let's listen to our voicemails here. And area code 404.
Hey Phil, Agent Neptune here. Glad for talking last week. Had a great time talking about all that stuff. Hey, tonight, you know what? Unpredictable as shit. Seriously, man, unpredictable. If you can figure it out, you're awesome. Anyway, have a good night.
And yeah, that's the thing. I'm almost done trying to predict what's going to happen, even though I am going to probably put out a prediction video tomorrow or on Thursday. But still, I think it's a tough show to predict what the hell is going to happen. And I think that's part of the fun. I think part of the fun of this episode isn't even just the episode itself. It's the fact that this episode sets up a dynamic where anything is possible to happen on the show at any point in time.
Hey, Phil, you're rocking it tonight as always. Hey, I have to think that while they were filming and they knew that they were having Carol Burnett as, in the cast, somebody must have been like a little worried that maybe, her health would hold out, for the filming. And then imagine the curveball that happens when Jimmy McGill goes down. I mean, that must have been just crazy. I'm sure everybody was worried about Carol Burnett. But great performance. Absolutely love that. I hope she's more and more in the last couple episodes. All right, man, take it easy. Love what you're doing.
Oh, thank you, Pete. And that's from Pete's Live Music. Obviously she worked during this, a difficult time period to work because of everything going on. So I'm sure they were very cautious and concerned about an 89-year-old working on set during a pandemic. And then I think obviously Bob's situation, who was in excellent shape for the most part, threw everyone for a big loop. And it's been said many times, but it's worth saying already that part of the reason why the season split is because of that. The reason why, we wouldn't have got a conclusion of the series, but how lucky we were that Bob was on set when this happened and he wasn't in his trailer, wasn't home alone or something, because he immediately got the help he needed. And, is obviously more important for his friends and his family and blah, 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 blah. And all that stuff is obviously said, but we're here I'm doing a show about a show. Let's talk about this in the most basic fucking terms. If anything had happened to Bob Odenkirk, none of us know, but we can all feel for the situation just on the basic level. And they talked about this on their podcast too. The series just wouldn't have continued. It just would have ended at the end of season 5. They wouldn't have released any probably eventually would have released the episodes that they filmed because they had filmed up until the Lalo confronting them after killing Howard scene filmed. So maybe they would have released those eventually, but we would not have gotten a conclusion to the series, which obviously is the least of the issues of it all. A man's life that has family and friends and people that actually care about him and know him. That's obviously the number one important thing, but I feel like that's all, let's put that aside. That's obvious. Let me just be as basic as possible and a petulant television watching child here and say, oh my God, we almost didn't get an end to this series. If he wasn't on set, if that wasn't the situation, we wouldn't have gotten an end to Better Call Saul. And whether you like this, whether you're like some of the people in our live chat tonight that aren't enjoying this episode, and some people might not like how the series ends up concluding for whatever reason. But either way, it's always better to have a conclusion than no conclusion at all. I don't give a shit. This would have been one of the biggest blue balls television series of all time if that had happened. And again, taking all of that aside, the obvious, he's a human being. His life's more important than any fucking piddly television show. Friends, family, like all that fucking shit. We wouldn't have gotten into the series, and I'm a selfish prick, and that would have been a bummer. Major bummer. So, dude, that would have been a bummer, like a total bummer, dude.
Hey, Phil, I don't know if you caught this reference, but you know that whole thing reciting steps numerically, whatever, the thing you made New Jeff memorize, where you go through and pick the right items? That's, I think, like straight out of the Dirty Dozen. At the end of the Dirty Dozen, they had a real complicated plan to pull off, and they all like recited the same kind of thing. It was almost the same. But I just didn't know if you caught that or if you thought people caught that. All right, man, keep it up. Doing great.
Thank you again for another message, Pete's Live Music. I did not catch that. That's not a movie that's like immediately on my Rolodex. Great movie. I've seen it. Love it. But it's not sort of immediately there for me to think about that. But great pickup, great reference. And people in the live chat, if you saw that, jump on in and let us know. And thank you so much for those messages, Pete's Live Music. We still have a bunch of voicemails and a bunch of texts. Still time to get more in as well if you want to. But I got to get to this super chat donation, and the super chats are never expected, but always incredibly appreciated now more than ever. Do I think that Gene made the security guy get diabetes? No, I think the security guy probably had diabetes to begin with. But I don't think Gene helped. I really did. Good question. Good question, radio. That makes me have to drink. It's getting a little late for drums. But I just thought in the moment that he was drugging them. That was my initial thought from the beginning. Maybe because Tony put out a theory about that, so it was in my head. But my initial thought through that whole situation was, oh, he's drugging them. That's what's going on right here. And I wasn't sort of skipping from that perspective. And I was 100% wrong. It's very interesting that the guy ate it with a knife and a fork, which I've never seen anyone do really. Most people just eat it with his hands. Took his time doing it. It's obviously a big reach that he wouldn't look over his shoulder, and that's why Jimmy needed to do it for a few weeks, it seemed like, or at least a week or so, to make sure the same thing happened every day and that he wasn't looking at the cameras at all. Anyways, let's get in the chat. Kevin Costner, it's true. And I think Bob Odenkirk is funny enough that he would have put in his will, somewhere it's written in his will that any role he's working on, like Nobody 2, if anything happened to him, Kevin Costner would pick it up. Oh, thank you, Jackie C. You were amazing. I wonder how many people are still claiming Better Call Saul was better than Breaking Bad, says Frank. I thought he was drugging them too. I definitely thought he was drugging them. I definitely did. That was where my mindset was. So we're going to skip through. Let me get down to some of our early messages that we missed earlier tonight. Here's area code 435. Oh my God, I think we just got a message from Hector Salamanca. Wait, I thought there was a problem with 435's phone, but no, listen. I think, Hector, is this you? Hector Salamanca, are you there? What do you think about Lalo? Wow, I think Hector's mad at me. I don't think he likes the show. Guys, we got to be careful. We got Hector Salamanca. Thank you, buddy. Hector, you're amazing. You're one of the most entertaining characters on TV. But we got Hectors in the house. Be careful what you guys say. We don't want to make this guy mad, right? That's true. True. Okay. Oh shit! It is Hector. And we got the one and only, the amazing Carmine from Red Team Review in the live chat. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to my good buddy Carmine. He's so fucking close to 200K subscribers. So if you want to check in on his channel, check out his stuff, if you like what he does, hit that subscribe button and go over there. He's one of the awesomest people I know, and been one of the best people to me in the history of this YouTube platform. So can't say enough awesome things. But see, Carmine's gonna leave now because I'm saying too many good things. Carmine's an asshole. Don't listen to a word he says. He's a liar. No. Carmine seriously is one of the best people I know. So lots of love to that dude over there. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Red Team Review. He's the best. Okay, so Hector, can we move on now to another person's caller? Is that okay, buddy? Thank you, Hector. We're gonna move on. Area code 732.
Hey, my name's Joe Fabosi.
Hey, Joe.
I'm calling from Waretown, New Jersey. And I waited all day to watch the episode. Bryan Cranston was on the talk today. He said he was going to be in this episode.
Oh, wait. Bryan Cranston said, did Bryan Cranston troll you? Bryan Cranston trolled you and told you he was going to be in the episode? He doesn't know. Don't listen to a word that lion sack of monkey poop says. Bryan Cranston is, you see this guy? He got thrown out of a celebrity baseball game because he was drunk kicking people. Bryan Cranston's a troll. I love this Cranston guy, but he's a fucking troll. Don't buy a word Cranston says.
Episode. Bryan Cranston was on the talk today. He said he was going to be in this episode. And Aaron Paul was too, but they weren't in the episode, I don't think. Did you see him?
I did. Didn't you see the random little guy yelling, "Yeah, bitch," from the corner? I think I saw him. I think we saw an Aaron Paul sighting. Or did they consider that the Jesse discussion, that the mention of Walter was the Walter cameo? We get the one and only, the amazing, the beautiful Gina watching along as well. Lots of love to Gina, and she says she agrees. The shirt was a little busy for Saul. I don't know if you're still watching, Gina, but great to see Gina. Am I blushing? Gina's in the live chat. Great to say. Lots of love to Gina. Great to see our good buddy Carmine. Talk to you soon, my friend. And like I said, one more time, make sure you subscribe to Carmine over there in Red Team Review. Let's get him over 200. So Hector is still a part of this show. Hector's not going anywhere. But yes, I did see Bryan Cranston in this episode. He was he was decomposing in the graveyard that we drove past in Wisconsin. But no, we didn't. I'm guessing at this point they're going to show up, in episode 12, the Vince Gilligan directed and written episode. It would only just make, I guess poetic justice is the best way of saying it, for them to be in the episode directed by Vince. So that's my perspective at this point, because it would make sense that if, again, we don't know that this is how it happened, but if we're to buy what Bryan Cranston said and they flew in to shoot these scenes and then flew out, in and out, the old in and out, and they shot the scenes with a skeleton crew and yada, 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 most likely the director of the scene was either Vince or Peter. So it's likely the last episode or the second to last episode, because I doubt they flew in one of their on-staff directors just for the thing that they shot on off-season at a random time with a skeleton crew. It seems like those scenes would have been filmed with Vince and Peter there, and my thought would be that Vince would direct it. So they would add that to the scenes in the episode that Vince is direct. But I'm putting 1 and 2 together and getting 68. So I'm not really making any sense in what I'm saying, but I'm still trying to verbalize it. So let's continue with our voicemails. We still got a bunch of voicemails here tonight. I'm going to get through them all. I'm not going anywhere. You guys have been amazing with the super chats and the discussion and keeping the chat pumping. Pump that shit.
Yeah, hey, it's the black and gray ghost of Mike Ehrmantraut.
What the fuck?
It felt like I had to call in.
So we had Hector digging his ass all over the place, and now he woke Mike Ehrmantraut like Solomon Grundy out of his grave. I, Solomon Mike Ehrmantraut. I, Grundy. We got fucking Grundy showing up out of East Bumfuck coming here to fucking explain bullshit to us. Ugh.
It's the black and gray ghost of Mike Ehrmantraut. It felt like I had to call in and say there'll be a safety audit on the people who axe the floor. Means I got more paperwork to do. Even in death, there are no half measures.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Mike Ehrmantraut. Discam, I don't have the name right with me, but if you go to the video description of this particular YouTube video, I have it listed there, the writer and the director of this particular episode. So, yeah, I don't know that because I don't have it opened in front of me. But since you're watching this, you can just open the description section and you should see it right there, right below the description, the little blurb that I wrote. So, thank you. Let's see. Let's continue with our voicemails. This is from, thank you, Lotus. This is Donald.
Listen, okay, listen. It's the Donald, okay, the real Donald. Okay, listen. This episode fell harder than my ex-wife down a flight of stairs, okay? Listen. I know you're gonna put up a wall and try and block me, okay, for what I say, but it's okay because I'm gonna guarantee on the next episode it's gonna be gold, okay? Gold. Listen, okay? It's the Trump guarantee, okay?
Thank you. Okay, so our next voicemail is from 774.
My name is Walter White. My brother-in-law, Hank Schrader.
And we got Walter White calling in now? Do we get the whole fucking cast? Who's fucking next? Is Chuck McGill gonna call back if he wasn't afraid of the electrical stimulus coming through his phone? Put on your damn moon blanket, Chuck, and call on in. I want to hear Big Bottom from Spinal Tap.
My name is Walter White. My brother-in-law, Hank Schrader, DEA agent, sent me here, forcing me to call you. He wanted me to tell you.
What is it, Schrader? Fuck you, Hank Schrader, Asex Schrader. Go fuck yourself. Should have called in backup. You and Gomi wanted to take all that fucking take all that credit. Should have called him backup instead of going out to the desert alone with Pinkman. You dumbass.
You're a sussy simp. Sussy.
Thank you, buddy. Oh my goodness, we have the one and only, the amazing, the awesome, my good friend Mandrell in the live chat. Great to see you, buddy. I know who's calling next. Skinny Pete. Who's going? We gonna get a Badger call? I don't know. So here we go. Let's go from 870.
Okay, so I watched Nippy. I liked this episode. I liked it. It was different. It was, I don't know. I think it was not quite the episode that I thought it was gonna be. But I liked it. I thought it was a nice change of pace. I liked it. Definitely had a little bit more of a light tone compared to especially the last couple. But yeah, I liked, the things that happened. I thought, I did not think the attitude page job was bad. I actually thought he did pretty decent.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good too, and I thought it moved around well. Oh, thank you. Gina did hear my comment. I'm blushing some more. Gina sent a heart in. So do you think, since we've seen all the sound clips to the teasers except Kim, that's foreshadowing of her becoming a lawyer again? Honestly, Howard needs to call. We need Howard calling in next. Gina has said, and I agree. We do need Howard Hamlin calling for his head exploding with delight. I do think Kim will be a lawyer again, and I think we do catch up with her by the end of the story. It's hard for me to imagine that we don't eventually catch up with her, and we see that we did hear her in those previews take the lawyer's oath, and you're right, Gina, that we have heard pretty much every one of those sound clips except for that. Some could say that was her foreshadowing for her quitting being a lawyer, so we heard her original oath, but it also could be her taking the oath again at a later date to be able to defend Jimmy or something else where we catch up to her later in an episode dedicated to Kim. That episode 10 might be a Kim episode, or the final episode might be dedicated more to her. We make it a big extended scene that catches up where she's been and what she's doing and all of that stuff as well. So Thank you for the question, the beautiful Miss Gina. So 6. I don't know why I just said 6. So 6. You guys can keep the voicemails coming. I'm not going anywhere right now. Going to be on for at least a little while longer, taking your voicemails and comments and questions about this particular episode. Also, the live chat is still open. Get on in, share the discussion, good or bad, what you thought. We still have our poll up right now. We have over 1,300 votes in that. Get your vote in. Were you feeling this episode? Yes or no? Here's area code 214. I think this is our good friend UD Reviews from Dallas.
Hi, this is UD Reviews. I'm calling from Dallas, Texas. I am really excited for these last few episodes. This one was kind of like The Fly, and I think it kind of sets us up for understanding Jimmy as Gene, especially now that Gene has incorporated some flipping Jimmy into his life. So I'm expecting these next episodes to be exciting. Now, what I want to know from you,
yes,
okay, as a fellow,
and one right before I answer your part, I also expect the last few episodes to pick up and ramp up the excitement. I feel like people that might think this episode was a little too. That's why I'm saying the people that weren't feeling this episode, come back next week. Please come back next week. Come back the following week. Come back after the finale and tell me how you feel then when you see the whole picture and if this episode created the environment that they needed to conclude the series in the way that they wanted to conclude by giving us the Gene that we see here and in establishing what his dynamic is in this world. And also establishing that anything can happen at any time. We just got a bunch more voicemails, and I'm going to keep them coming tonight. So here we go. Let's listen to the final question here.
Better Call Saul YouTuber, are you down to collab? Is you down to live stream, do a little pre-watch party, post-watch party, especially for the finale? Because if you are, hit me up. I already sent you an email, so let me know. Again, I'm UD Reviews. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much, and I will respond to your email. It will depend on the timing, obviously, after I'm out here doing this stuff. But if you do something before and I'm around and I'm home from work and stuff, I mean, I'll answer this in an email too. I would definitely love to pop on in and share the discussion with you folks as well. So if I'm around, I absolutely can. So let's play. Let's go. We got a couple of voicemails that just came in. Let's get to these.
Hello, Delano Salamanca. I'm actually here with my buddy Howard.
Howard? You wanted it, Gina.
Hey,
here he
how's
is.
it going? Yeah, just something happened. I fell off simply. Bumped my head. Anyway, speaking of falling off, Phil, what's going on with the chat? You better pick up next time when Hank calls again.
We'll see if Hank calls again. And thank you, everyone in the chat. Keep it going. Here we go. Who's next?
Hey, yo, I can't stay long. This is Al Pacino, and I can't stay long because I have a chick who's got a great ass, and I'm about to put my head all up in there. Well, I'm saying this episode was good, not great, just good.
Thank you, Al Pacino from Carlito's Way. That's going to put his head all up in that ass. And thank you, Howard, from calling in from the dead for me right now. Howard, yes, Gina. Howard called in for you. And Pete's Live Music.
Hey, Phil. It's Nippy. I just called to see if you like my performance.
Ruff, ruff, ruff. I love it, Nippy.
Hello, Phil. And my name is Chuck McGill.
Fucking he's calling in now.
Check over the body of Winston.
Fuck you, Chuck.
I'm just calling to see if you passed the bar. I swear to God.
Brainless they are, but they're awesome. The Pacino is good. I'm a fan of that Pacino. And the ass is all up in it.
Something, Phil.
These impressions are the best ever. Keep them coming, guys.
It's fine. But something, Phil. With a law degree?
a chimp with a machine gun.
I shit.
You get to be a lawyer? What a sick joke. I mean, chat. You have to stop. You have to stop.
Everybody, thank you so much. You guys are
fucking chicanery.
You're fucking. Shut up, Chuck. Shut up, Chuck. Go hide under a fucking moon blanket, you piece of shit. Fucking horrible brother, horrible person. Speaking of horrible people.
It's Hank.
Of course.
I heard what you said, pal.
I did, you fucking stupid idiot. Fuck you, Frank.
Mike.
Fuck you, you piece of shit. Fuck you. What you trying to talk? Fuck you.
They're in the barrels.
Piece of shit.
You want to be in one too?
Yeah.
That's right. It was my empire.
You got lucky.
Minerals for life, baby.
Fuck you, Hank. I realized I was talking over Hank, so I started to whisper. I started a whisper campaign against Hank. This douchebag. Should have called backup. Hank.
Hey, Phil, it's Hank Schrader.
Again!
I'm Bonnie Winston. And I'm also with Gould. Hey, there I go. Shut the fuck up before I send you back over the border.
Have a good night.
I'm trying to keep a straight face while doing this, but I can't because everyone's doing the fucking impressions.
Oh my goodness. Oh, we got the one and only Tony Teflon in the live chat. He wants to hear the Pacino again. Where is it? Let me see if I can find this one. We do have let's see here. We got a request for the Al Pacino one more time. And we also have my podcasting partner, my closest friend, one of my good buddies. We got Tony Teflon in the live chat, and also a Better Call Saul content creator making recap videos and breakdowns and theory videos. So make sure you check out Teflon TV if you haven't already. Subscribe over there to my buddy Tony Teflon. I also pop over there often, as well as we do a podcast together called The Usual Suspects over on Teflon TV. So here we go. Listen to a little Pacino.
Hey, yo, I can't stay long. This is Al Pacino. And I can't stay long because I have a chick who's got a great ass. And I'm about to put my head all up in there. Well, I'm saying this episode was good, not great, just good.
Good Pacino. I'm going to play Hank again because I did talk over him.
It's Hank. I heard what you said, pal. Listen, you sussy baka. Mike, Walt, I locked them up. They're in the barrels. You want to be in one too? That's right. It was my empire. Minerals for life, baby.
Thank you. Minerals for life. Sorry to scream over you, Hank. I was wrong. I was angry. So, okay, I know this might be difficult, but let's play it. Let's play our most conscientious objector's message tonight.
Hey, this is Nero. I don't think I've expressed enough displeasure for this episode, so let me break down how something like this happens.
Okay, and I am gonna play a good part of I'm gonna play as much of this message as I can, Nero, before I break down but I wanna let you state your case. Like I said, I do not live in an echo chamber here. I want to hear why you didn't like this episode.
So you write a season that's like really, really good, and then you have like this, like, you have to go back to this, like, this Gene thing where, oh shit, we did this a couple seasons back, we have to get this done. And so you are writing these amazing episodes, and then you leave like the straggle, like the worst writers, like the new guys, you let them handle this, and then you see what they've done, and you're just like, yeah, well, fuck it, we'll just film it and we'll throw it in there somewhere. And they had nowhere to put it in, so like they just put it in the final four. And I think that's the biggest like issue I have with this, is this did not belong so close to the end. This is not, like, I challenge anybody, and I know everybody's like, hey, why are you pitching this so much? But like, I challenge anybody to do this. Like, go back when this is all over and watch this episode and tell me if this isn't the most unnecessary fucking thing you've ever seen.
Oh, no, dude.
On this show.
Okay, I'm gonna shut up.
Like, this is terrible. This is like that. Like, at least the Fly episode like had some comedy in it. Like, this was the only two things that were funny about this was when he cracked his head and when it was over. Those are the only two great things about it. Anyways, it's terrible. I'm not sorry for it. The episode sucks. And if you don't like me complaining about it, well, fucking go to an architect school and learn how to build a structurally sound bridge and get the fuck over it. Nero's out.
Okay, fair enough. Again, I don't live in an echo chamber. I wanted to give Nero, I disagree with what Nero says in the sense that I think this episode was necessary to establish who Gene was, what Gene was doing, and seeing how overconfident he could be to set up a situation where he could be taken down as he lets out the Saul persona again. I think it's important to kind of establish this and set it up, but I do want to make a fair account and let the people that aren't feeling this episode have a voice to be able to express it, because why the fuck not? That's part of what's awesome about this episode and about this series, being able to debate this, get into these episodes, get into everything.
My head all up in there. Well, I'm saying this episode was, and I'm about to put my head all up in there. Well, I'm saying this.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Al Pacino. Sorry, everybody. Okay, so let's get to our next message.
If I have a chick who's got a great ass.
Okay, yeah, the great ass. That's the line I was trying to get. So who else we got here? We got, let's see what this message is.
Hey Phil, it's Chris. Just wanted to say I enjoyed this episode. It's a nice break from death and heartbreak. You know, after the last few episodes, I feel like we kind of needed, you know, something a little bit more light. We were all wrong about who Mary was. You know, I think the simple answer was Howard's mother, or.
I challenge you, Agent Neptune. Call in. What am I challenging you to? Call in, Agent Neptune. I want everyone to call in. 781-990-8509. Do it. 781-990-8509. Share your thoughts. Call on in. Join the chat. Join the discussion. We still have many voicemails. I'm not ending anytime until we clear the decks of these voicemails or we stop getting super chats. Agent Neptune, thank you so much for that super chat. Wait, where's the drink? I gotta get a drink for you. Oh, we're getting more calls. The calls just keep coming in. We just keep going. Fine, keep sharing your thoughts. Keep the calls coming. The quicker the messages are, the easier I can play them. Sometimes it's tougher to play the longer messages. I might not end up playing your whole message because I've got, ADD or something. But I gotta keep going.
The judge, but yeah, I don't think many people, if any at all, foresaw it being Jeff's mother. And I liked, how he did what Saul Goodman does best. And, he told him he would fix it himself. He realized what Jeff really wanted. It wasn't money. He just wanted to get in the game. And, had a nice little con for him. Overall, this episode was great.
Yeah, no, it was. It was a great watch. It was, again, a very more of a texture-like episode, and some may say when we're down to the last few episodes, should we do texture episodes? And I think yes, that's what the show always has been. Pete's Live Music asks, how long would it take Huel to down a Cinnabon? 2 minutes and 1 minute? It would definitely be a different situation. Excuse me. I don't know if this is... What a thrilling episode. I was rooting for Gene the whole way, and I thought it wasn't going to work out. The fact that he was able to stall the guard with a sob story about his parents, brother, and love life was the best part. He wasn't authentic in his acting, but when you think about it, he wasn't lying either. Great storytelling, satisfying ending. Intro was excellent, too. Romeo from Brooklyn, New York, by the way. Thank you, Romeo, so much for the message tonight. Really awesome. And thank you for checking out the show. And I hope you subscribe and join us for the next couple of weeks. 803. But wait, when Gene Saul tells Jeff about Walter Bacon Brad getting rich, Saul laundered the money. He didn't make it for him. And Jeff seems too dumb to survive the crew from Albuquerque. It's true. He does seem dumb. 604 says, Jimmy will end up in prison after the girl that works at the clothes store is going to find the piece Jimmy was looking at in the mirror, and he left fingerprints on the hanger. They're going to notice that Gene was part of the whole thing with the cell phone number in the box. Maybe like I said, I wouldn't doubt if Jimmy does face some consequences because he seems a little high on the hog right now. So it seems like only place he could go from this where... Let me try to say that again. The only place he could go from here is down because he seems very high on the hog. There we go. That's better. That's fucking better. And I do want to say a couple of rest in pieces to some really amazing actors today. We got Paul Sorvino passed away today, who was obviously on Goodfellas, many other things, also Worf's brother on Star Trek. And we also lost David Warner today. So we lost two amazing actors. I just want to toast a drink for a bunch of amazing performances by those actors. Nothing to do with Better Call Saul tonight, but we did lose two really awesome actors today, and we're talking about a TV series. So if whatever you're drinking, whether it's water, coffee, wine, whatever, toast it up for these rest in peace to two really awesome actors. Okay. So let's get to our voicemails. We got 11 voicemails to go, and we're not going anywhere until these voicemails are cleared. Area code 207. There are four lights. There are 3 lights, Agent Neptune. There are 3 lights. There are 3 lights!
Hi, Phil. This is Tom from Everett. I love you. I love you. I want to suck your dick.
Oh, well, thank you, Tom from Everett. I do appreciate that. Area code 718.
Better Call Phil. What's up? This is Romeo from New York, Brooklyn, New York.
Hey, Romeo.
I thought the best part of this episode was the fact that Gene was able to stall the guard with a sob story about his parents, his brother, his love life. He wasn't authentic with his acting, but when you think about what he said, when you read, word for word what he said, he wasn't lying either, and that was great storytelling.
It was.
I was rooting for Gene the whole way. I did not think it was going to work out, and in the end, it worked. Satisfying ending. The intro was awesome too. Thanks, Phil.
Yeah. No, it was really just well done. And thank you so much for calling, Romeo, and thank you for the text message earlier. And yes, people in the chat, it is definitely true what you guys are saying. I don't want to bring too much attention to that, but well, I do think JMM should be considered an accessory to the death of that security guard. What do you expect from a guy who names himself after the second most egomaniacal Roman Empire, who made people applaud for his performing his poetry? The episode proved that Saul has still got the magic. Christopia. Brian Finkelstein, good point. With monkeypox around, I don't want to meet anybody. So, area code 404.
All right. First of all, this is Agent Neptune. You want to challenge me? I can appreciate it. Like if you're a writer or you're thinking about something like what happened in this episode, you got to go back 50, 60 episodes and put the whole thing together. Look at season 1. Look at season 2. It's snoozer. But you know what? I didn't get on Breaking Bad till the 3rd season. But you know what? I got caught. I got in it. I enjoyed it. I love it. And all I can do is for the last 14 years, I can only think about Vince and I can only think about Peter and how good they are at writing and how much they have spoiled other shows.
Yeah.
So if you're going to complain about one episode, fine. You know what? Complain about one episode. You know what? We got Carol Burnett. So on you.
Yeah. No, and thank you so much for calling on in, my friend, and bringing it. And that's why, again, I love all of the perspectives that we get from the different callers here and the different thought patterns. Spoiler alert, says Jack Me Off. In the finale, Kim Wexler swoops down over Albuquerque on a giant dragon and lights it up. No one notices it because it's always hot. Booty Man out. Booty Man go.
I got vodka.
I think that was Tom again telling me he has some vodka, but thank you, Tom. I appreciate it, but not interested. I appreciate it, though. Area code 603.
This is Gus Fring. I just want to ask, have you ever had gay thoughts? LMAO. I am having them right now. About Lyle.
I love how you said LMAO instead of laughing. I do that sometimes too because when I do speech to text, I say LOL. So when I'm actually saying it in normal conversation sometimes, I accidentally say those abbreviations instead of actually, laughing. And you did that. That's in the situation. That's what I thought was important about your message. You, instead of laughing, you said LMAO. That was great. And let's continue. The voicemails are amazing tonight, as always. Area code 774. Let's clear these decks.
Hi, I need a new dust filter for my Hoover Max.
How hot are you?
Extract pressure model.
Yeah, how hot are you?
Model 60. Right on. Team Takovich.
It's funny. I'm reading. You said Team Takovich in the way it auto-corrected in the chat because it gives me a little verbal description of what you wrote. It says Teen Titans.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I know my new episode's kind of a drag, but Nero, you need to chill out. You're kind of a simp. Anyways, I'm out the game.
Thank you, caller. You guys, the callers, are killing it tonight. Area code 319.
This is Hector Salamanca.
Wait. Oh, it's Hector? It's Hector Salamanca calling back? Uh-oh. We're in trouble. And again, if I'm doing what it auto-corrected, it said it's Hipster Salamanca. Here on the call line, we have Hipster Salamanca.
This is Hector Salamanca. I want to know, what's this episode doing here? I settle this right now, okay? Me and the fan base, we built this whole business. Salamanca money, Salamanca blood. And they air an episode about a dog? It is personal.
Again, amazing stuff by the voicemailers tonight. 774.
Phil, this is AFAC Trader. I heard you talking shit. You haven't even tried a Schrader, bro.
Listen, buddy.
Anyways.
No, you're Schrader, bro. I did try one. I went to the store, went to this whole big freaking craft brewery fair, and I had some Schrader Brow, and I fucking threw my ass up because the shit was disgusting, dude. It had minerals in it. It literally had minerals floating in it.
I wanted to tell you something. Walt's been actually working with me. That's right. We created a super mineral lab. There's nothing you can do to stop us. Simp.
You guys are amazing tonight. And we still got 7 voicemails. We're not going anywhere tonight. If you want to still get time, leave a voicemail, 781-990-8509. I know we're almost at 3 hours, but I'm not stopping. We only have 3 more of these. This one and 3 more of these after shows. I'm taking my time and enjoying every single moment. As long as there's people out watching, I'm going to stay on for a while until we get through all these voicemails. So here we go.
Really, Phil? You talked over my Mineral Empire speech.
I did.
I got one more trick up my sleeve.
Wait.
Forget Howard.
They
forget
stink,
Layla.
X.
Forget Walter. Are you talking about me?
I'm talking about you.
It's Jesse on the phone.
Douchebag.
Jesse, is that you? Jesse. Hey, guy's really trapped here with, he's making too many minerals. Minerals, I tell you. He's like the thing. Also, Saul's gonna call soon.
I gotta say, we've been really lucky with our callers tonight. We have so many amazing callers. Let's see who we got here now. We got another caller.
Yo, Phil, Gatorade me, bitch. This is Davey calling from...
I thought you were going with this is Jesse Pigman calling from Alaska, bitch.
Beautiful. Minneapolis, Minnesota. We got a gorgeous 76 degrees. It is now evening time. Perfect time to have a little...
Wait, do you work for the Minnesota tourist industry or something? Like, you're really selling Minnesota there. You're like, come on down to beautiful Minnesota. It's 76 degrees there in the beautiful Minnesota. We got the Mall of America. You know, it was featured in the movie Mallrats. Very good mall. It's really awesome. And we got some high-end tea wear. Yeah, we do. We got, sorry.
Lemon juice and whiskey,
Yeah,
whatever that is that Gene has, and settle down and watch a good episode of Better Call Saul. You know, I dug this episode at first. I kind of went on and off with it. So, here's my thoughts.
Let's do it.
I was really into it at first. That I was like, oh, okay. Because they've used this formula before, you know? Okay, so they're going to do a slip and jibby scheme or whatever. And then towards the middle, he finds his groove and you get really into it. The best part of the episode for me is when that jammy, jazz, rocky kind of music just swelled and he's watching the cameras, everything's working out, and the guy's eating the Cinnabon, and the music just swells. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Anyways, I love that scene.
Yeah, that was the scene that I sort of jammed her out with. It's the montage scene when everything sort of comes together and they build it up to one big apex. And I agree that the action of it moved forward, and it definitely worked. I'd like to see that. Let's continue your message. You got a few more seconds left here.
I thought this was totally necessary, especially if they're setting it up to be like, okay, Gene's going to get a little more comfortable here being Saul again, and then maybe making a mistake towards the end. Because honestly, the only thing that's missing from this timeline is, answering for consequences. I'd like to see that in this story. So we'll see if it happens. Phil, love to watch it, bro. Everybody else, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, JDJ Today. That's one word.
Look at that. Look at the promotion there. We'll give it to him.
Letter 2, DAY.
Okay, yeah, there we go. We get a little. You got a little promotion in there. I like it. You mixed it in there with the message. I'll give you respect for that. Good little drop there for the action there. Definitely. And I agree with what Teflon said. This wasn't one of the best episodes of the season, but it's not a bad episode. It's about a 7 out of 10, 8 kind of episode comparatively to the other episodes of the season. And it was setting up this final arc and setting up all the things that are possible for this final season. I'm going to do a short video on some of my thoughts about what this opens up for the video. Yeah, I'm going to talk in the video about what it sets up for the final 3 episodes. But I do think it was more about showing that this is possible, giving us a little bit more of who Gene was. And I think to some people, not everybody, some people are going to just not like this episode as is, whatever. Some people, I think this episode will be easier to watch, unlike what Nero said, just to kind of go against what Nero said. Some people, I think, will like this episode better on a rewatch when they have 3 more episodes that they can immediately watch afterwards and not waiting week to week to get something that is almost a side story, but to me is the final story of the entire package. The thing I'm most invested in hearing a conclusion to. Make me a mod or I won't bring Cinnabons into your job. Make me a mod. It won't bring Cinnabons. That's a awesome question because I might need those Cinnabons at some point in time. We got a handful of Massachusetts people here. We got area code 781.
Consult me.
Wait, was that Pacino again? Did we get fucking Pacino again? Hey-oh! And 774 again.
Phil, you clearly don't know who you're talking to. So let me clue you in. I am not in danger, Phil. I am in danger.
We got fucking Walter White calling again?
No. Gus is sus. I need you to get me in a room with him. Please.
Okay, I thought I wasn't sure if you're done.
I will call again when I win.
And we got Unknown. Uh-oh. I don't know what this is going to be.
I heard what the motherfuckers sound like when they lay off. I don't want to know what the motherfuckers sound like when they come.
Whoa, wait. Now I sound like that stupid YouTube ad that I purposely turned off any of those skippable videos on my videos just so I don't have to hear that fucking thing ever again. Listen. Like, stop it. I don't want to hear that. But I got to hear this other message again.
I heard what the motherfuckers sound like when they lay off. I don't want to know what the motherfuckers sound like when they come.
One more time. That's awesome.
I heard what the motherfuckers sound like when they lay off. I don't want to know what the motherfuckers sound like when they come.
I am definitely a fan of that message. So, everybody, let's continue. We still have 4 more messages left. And if anyone wants to call in at the last minute, you can call in at 781-990-8509. Thank you so much to all of our super chatters tonight. Obviously, as I said, never expected, but always appreciated. And I appreciate the little drum solo tapping in the drinking, getting me drunk tonight. You guys are amazing. But you guys in the chat are cracking me up. Let's get our poll done so I don't forget by the end. Let's end our poll and see where we ended up on this particular episode. You guys in the chat, we're right, 60-30, 70-30 about. Where's the 1%? Did 1% just not vote? There wasn't an option, so doesn't it have to be 70-30? How can it be 69-30 in the chat? Right now it said the results of the people that might be listening or not looking in the chat. It says the results of the poll are 69-30. How is that possible? How is that? Shouldn't it be 69-31? This poll is bullshit. 1,400 votes. Someone's cheating. I'm calling bullshit on the vote. But we did have 1,400 people voting in this poll. Thank you to everyone that voted tonight. That means we had at least 1,400 people popping on here at some point tonight to share their thoughts in this vote. So thank you so much. But yeah, 69% say yes, they felt this episode, and 30% say they didn't. There's clearly 1% voted the just clicked on it and didn't press anything. I don't know. Yeah, Nero voted the third party candidate, Ross Perot. I don't know what the fuck happened there with the 1%, but okay. Because I needed to end this at 69. It's true. So we just got a bunch more voicemails in, so I guess I'm not going anywhere. No, here we go. Area code 530.
I reckon I miss some of the biddings. This is Paul from California. That's my Cling Blade impersonation.
So I want to play this one.
I heard what the motherfuckers sound like when they lay off.
I reckon I miss some of the biddings. This is Paul from California. That's my Cling Blade impersonation.
Thank you so much. Cinnabon Manager, I don't know. Are they gonna continue with the blue screen? I don't know. I'm not positive about the direction that they're gonna go with the intros. It seems like maybe they'll quote unquote rewind the tape and then play the intro again for the final 2 episodes, or we'll just see that blue screen. Or we'll start on the blue screen and go from there and see them pushing rewind. So we see the theme in the final episode, but in the final 2, we see it kind of the tape rewinding. I don't know. Stop the steal. Nippy sweep. Here we go. Oh no. One more time.
Hi, Phil. Teflon Tony is it's too big. I like your dick better.
Thank you, 207. Area code 207 is really leaving the other voicemailers to shame tonight. So thank you for all your amazing messages tonight. Area code 774. Jesus.
I won. That's right, Phil. I won.
Fuck tonight.
Just one more thing.
What do you want?
I will give you $500,000.
What do you want?
I need to tell you one last thing, Phil.
Tell me.
Nero in the chat is sus.
I love you guys in the chat. You guys, and I have to say, even with everyone, I hope everyone's having some respectful, hilarious banter, fun, back and forth shit going on tonight, and I appreciate it. You guys have been hilarious and fun. Even with everyone sharing different opinions, the stakes are high. We're all invested hardcore in this finale, and we're all in this shit. Yeah, 207 is sus. Let's vote him off the island. Here we go.
Hey Phil, it's Romeo again from Brooklyn. I felt a little awkward earlier because I felt like I was the only guy who called in, not leaving an impersonation.
No,
I
that's
didn't
fine.
even hear other people call in, and they were normal, so I feel comfortable calling you. My question for you was Phil.
Yes.
Jeff, the actor, the new actor. How did you feel about him versus the old actor in this episode? Do you think he fitted justice?
I think he played a loser really, really well in this episode, and the other actor that played him seemed to me more menacing. I think if he had played the part in this episode, he would have played it more stupid and less pathetic. This Jeff played it very pathetic. I said it earlier. He kind of reminded me of Cliff Clavin from Cheers. Like Jeffy, you listen, Cliffy, mommy. You know, like he had a Cliff Clavin mom relationship, never leaving home, staying with his mom his whole life. That kind of dynamic. The other Jeff seemed more menacing to me, and it would have been interesting. I think in these scenes he would have played more stupid to it. So it's hard for me to say. They almost seem like two complete different characters to me. The only thing that's the same is the Cosby sweaters they were wearing. Like there seems to be nothing really similar about these two characters in this situation. But I think both of them gave a unique performance that worked for the scenes that they were in, and then they were good in the other scenes. I can't wait to hear the Insiders podcast and hear why the recast happened. I assume they'll get into it more, and sometime next week we'll know the actual reason, whether it was a scheduling conflict or a recast because they wanted someone else to play the part, or the actor didn't want to continue, or whatever. So I'm very curious to find that information out. It's probably the most curious I've been to hear one of these Insider podcasts in a while, just because I know some people are invested in that. I'm not as invested in it as much, especially if this is all we see of Jeff. It's fine that it's a one-off character. Recasts happen. You know, I like the original actor as an actor better, but I thought this guy generally worked. I wasn't watching it and saying, oh, you know, this guy's ruining the scene. I thought he played pathetic well. Let's see right here.
Singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling, I'm happy again. I'm laughing at clouds so dark up above. The sun's in my heart and I'm ready for love.
Aw, there we go. That was very nice. Do we have some applause? Oh, thank you. Thank you for the song. So we don't just have him. Whoa! Oh my God! Oh my God! Take the volume down. Oh, you're killing me, Miles. You're killing me, Miles. Sorry, Phil. Okay, Miles, turn that shit down. Okay, area code 530.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Wait, what was that again?
Surprise, motherfucker!
Make me want to turn around and watch my fucking back. What's going on?
Pollos hermanos, delicious chicken grilled and fried. Pollos hermanos. Subscribe to DJ today on YouTube.
It's another one. Oh, he fit in another one. Oh my goodness. He fit in another plug. Oh my goodness. We got callers putting in plugs in the middle of the show. But I gotta respect that. I respect the drive, man. I do. Just if you
My name's Noah. I'm calling from Rhode Island.
New England.
I did not think it was a terrible episode, but I also didn't think it was a great episode.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't feel as captivating as even more calm episodes have been Even though the first few episodes of season 6 were kind of a slow burn, they still had some substance, and I wasn't getting that feeling from this one for some reason. I know they had to deal with the whole Jeff plotline. It felt a little, I don't want to say forced, I'm not really sure, but
no, fair.
I'm hoping that this episode leads into something else, in the next one or two, and that it wasn't just a filler episode. Like, I know he showed how he'll deal with being made, but I felt like it needed a little more purpose.
No, I feel you. I feel you. I liked it just because of the day in the life aspect of it and getting to see this. But again, I'm not going to fight criticism if someone wasn't feeling what they wanted to get from the particular episode. Let's see. Okay. Someone asked me if I was disappointed with the Carol Burnett thing. I think they built it up like it was going to be a bigger character than it was. I thought the cameo itself worked really well. I think I'm going to hold judgment to see if we see the character again. I'm not sure if we will, or if there's some connection, which she said about Jeff having some sketchy friends in Albuquerque, if there's some connective tissue to Saul. But I wouldn't say I was disappointed. I enjoyed the performance. I think because of how we were in the desert searching for anything, that crumb grew into a meal that we all took a little bit. And what Bob said was a really big name actor was going to show up on the show for a big role. I wouldn't say it was a big role, but I can see why they maybe made a big deal out of it, because she got to do some good direct work with Bob Odenkirk. And it's hard for me with Bob Odenkirk being the guy who did Mr. Show and worked in Saturday Night Live, like being a sketch comedy, a comedian kind of guy, that he wouldn't be honored working with Carol Burnett. So it's a big deal for him. But yeah, I would have preferred her being a more meaty character. I liked some of the theories that were out there. But this was cool too. I liked that it was something we didn't expect. And I thought her performance was 100% and she really rocked it. And I would like to see the character show up again if they find an organic way for it to work. And I wouldn't be surprised, because it seemed like at the end she had more to do.
Phil, I just want to fill in one last line. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, Music Time, Let's Go, the chance to be featured on your live stream.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's huge. It's absolutely huge.
Thank you.
It's actually Trump here.
Thank you, buddy. And I appreciate it. We still got over 200 people watching. We had a height of over 450 people tonight. So I really do appreciate everyone that tuned in tonight to enjoy this silliness. We're going over 3 hours right now and still have I think around over 200 people watching. And like I said, we've had a high of over what do we have? Yeah, a high of 400 plus tonight. So 450 plus. So thank you so much to everyone that's tuning in. I hope you join me for the final 3 weeks of this season, this series, and keep these calls coming every week because I'm really enjoying them. Still got a few more calls to go, but some of these are quicker messages, so let's keep going.
I ain't falling for the banana in the tailpipe.
I'm not falling for that banana in the tailpipe.
Listen, I fractured an occasional law as a child. I don't know what you're saying.
Hey, yo, it's Wolfman Jack. I'd like to say I'm back, and I'm ready to attack. And let me sing this little song for you. I said, put a little man up your butt. I said, put a tin can up your butt. Put a Christmas tree up your butt. Put me up your butt. Now squeeze it.
Yeah, fucking good. All right, we get the best callers in the world here tonight on the Issues program. As always, you guys keeping it amazing, keeping it fun. Thank you so much. I think we're pretty much almost done here with our voicemails. Let me see. What's this message?
Hey, Phil. It's Winston again from last week. I don't know if this is said. I joined the stream late.
No worries.
But, oh my God. I didn't expect to get a Gene episode this early. I thought it was going to be like the final episode of the season. But hey, I'm kind of glad we did. But so I have a theory.
There was the sigh of, I'm not sure if I enjoyed this episode. I've heard this sigh a few times tonight. I didn't expect it. This is good, but I don't know.
It could be wrong. It could just be something with the TV that I use, because I have a crazy HDR TV, and my dad said I'm like weird at settings and we were watching it. But
Jennifer, you talking about the fucking Klingon son of a bitch that's right behind me that just keeps staring at me? I'm looking at you, Worf. He's just staring. He's not going anywhere. Motherfucker. We got 2 more voicemails after this, I believe, that I'm going to play some parts of. But if anyone wants to get in some last-minute voicemails, now's the time. 781-990-8509. The longer we got voicemails or any super chats or things like that, I'll keep going. But other than that, we'll start to wrap things up with our final couple of voicemails here. Let's play the rest of this one.
it kind of seemed like color was starting to show. Like starting.
Dude, yeah, I swear to, thank you. Thank you. Didn't it seem like it for a moment? Like in our second scene when we came back in, it seemed like the color was... Do you think in these final 3 episodes, and before everyone in the world steals this and my 3 timeline theory that I both trademark in here, because I'm going to put out videos on them, but it seems like that it's going to slowly but surely get into cut. If we stick in the Gene timeline till the end, I do think every episode's going to get slightly more colorful until he fully embraces Saul Goodman again. And then it's in color in the final episode. I could see something like that happening. I thought it was going to happen in this episode, but I don't know.
And it showed that, like, it was like starting to show that Saul's back. Like, kind of, when you put on that ring. Because when you put that ring on, there was, like, some glimpse of color on, like, everyone's faces, which was kind of weird. It could have just been something on my TV. I don't know. But it reminded me of when in one of the Gene scenes where he was watching the old commercials, when it zooms in on his face, everything's black and white except for the reflection of the commercial in his face. So I'm thinking that maybe if we get more Gene scenes in these last 3 episodes, 3, then we will start to see more and more color.
Yeah.
It could have just been something on my TV. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think we're going to head in that direction too. What do you think about it, Al?
Hey, yo, I can't stay long. This is Al Pacino, and I can't stay long because I have a chick who's got a great ass. And I'm about to put my head all up in there. Well, I'm saying this episode was good, not great, just good.
Sorry, listen to a few seconds. Nero called back again.
Hey, Nero again.
I love how he paused as he's ready to just break all of our hearts with his wonderful words.
Cool little thing for anyone who's wondering why, like, there's a lot of people online that are like, well, what could they really get Saul for? Like, I don't understand. Like, what could he go down for? How much time could he do? He could be in prison for life. I mean, you've got facilitating a drug empire. You know, he's been
I'm sorry, just because I 100% agree with you, dude. I just want to go on a rant about this. That's the only reason I'm cutting off your message. 100%. I see that all the time. Like, what did he really do? Accessory to murder, money laundering for a drug empire, connection to mass distribution of methamphetamine, all broken down. The Walter White case has been, like, fucked in its butt by the DEA at this point in time, and everybody else. They want to prosecute somebody, and they don't have anybody to prosecute. He's the only one that's left, except for Jesse, who is, you know, off the grid completely in Alaska, talking to Jessica Jones' ghost somewhere. But he's the one. And not to mention he has connections to the Salamanca thing. Who knows when they broke down the lab after they broke down Gus's stuff, maybe they found Howard's body and they want to get in touch with him as well. That's certainly a possibility too. There's lots of shit that's theoretically possible in that situation. So I think anyone that doesn't think he has any reason to run doesn't really realize all the stuff he's facing. Not to mention this case is in the media. There's probably a Netflix documentary and a podcast series about it at this point in time. It's very popular, and they want to prosecute somebody, and he has a lot of shit. Money laundering and accessory to murder of DEA agents, accessory to all of this stuff. Everything. Everything. Isn't that right, Gus?
This is Gus Fring.
Yes, Gus, it's right. Thank you, Gus. Let's see. We got a few more voice messages that came in. Let's hear this one.
Hi, this is Jason Statham. I just want to say, great stream.
Thank you, Jason Statham. I know your career is sort of dropping off a little bit. You're an expendable guy now. Everyone will totally remember you in 10 years. Were you playing electric guitar? Are we gonna jam? Or do we have to do like a crossover? Is this a crossover episode, BoJack? Do we think we'll see Kim in only one episode? I put out a video. You can definitely check that out on the channel. It's the last thing on this channel. I think Kim shows up in the last episode. I think we see her as a tease from episode 12 into episode 13. I don't know how it's gonna happen exactly. That being said, I think Kim shows up in that mall. I think we see her in that mall at some point in time. But we could see her before then too and see what she was doing during the Breaking Bad timeline. All I know for sure, everything else is like this show is like closing your eyes and throwing something at a dartboard sometimes, trying to figure out what's going to happen. Because these fucking guys, whether you like it or you hate it, it's not predictable. It's definitely not fucking predictable. But I've said this before, and I know some people have argued with me, or not argued with me, disagreed with me, gone point for point with me about why it's not going to happen. It's hard for me to imagine the end of the series without Kim showing up again. She's the only one of our main characters from the main series, except for Mike and Gus, who I also think we might see again at some flashpoint in the Breaking Bad timeline, but maybe not. But it's very possible that we're done with Mike, Gus, and Kim. I think that the end of the series has to do a little bit with Kim. I don't think they get back together or anything like that. I tend to think she more helps him come back, defend himself, because she's a lawyer again or something. I don't know. There's a reason he went to Nebraska, and she's from Nebraska. I feel like that's not just coincidental. There's a connection to Kim, even if this episode sort of says there's no connection with Jeff and Kim. I do think there's still a connection with with where they are and some connection with her. But again, some people have speculated to me in comment sections that Kim is completely gone out of this story, and I could still see a satisfying ending to this series without Kim. But I still think she's showing back up. So I don't know when it's happening, but I definitely think. Are we talking about poopers? Someone talking about poopers? Nick Cage, I think the next episode would be from Kim's perspective after leaving Jimmy going back. That's certainly, I keep almost hinting at that in my mind, thinking that next episode is going to be a Kim perspective episode, but I don't know if we're going to get a whole episode of Kim, but I could see flashes to her. All I know for sure is it's not the last we've seen of her. But I mean, I've been wrong before.
So Davy. Yo, it's Davy from LA.
Hey, Daddy.
Can we just talk about the Watch Your White reference in today's episode? It was done so perfectly.
I had a little trouble hearing your message, but just talking about the episode tonight and how perfect it was for you, for me, it was the same way. It was what I wanted. I wanted to see a full episode in the Gene timeline, get a feel for what he was like, his dynamic, his energy, where he was right now in his life, and all that information. And how that's going to dictate the end of the series has a lot to do with where he is right now. So I also was very pleased with what we got out of the episode tonight. Here we go.
Phil, it's Nick Cage. Listen, pal, you need to stop calling me.
Sorry, Nick. Nick, I loved Face Off and Raising Arizona. They're so good. You know, you had so much. I wanted you to play Superman. I'm really bummed that part didn't work out for you, dude. I'm sorry, Nick Cage. I'm sorry.
And some guy named Nero, I can't figure out why you keep calling me about shortbread. I like shortbread. I don't watch Breaking Bad. I'm not even in the new show. Not yet, anyways. The new spin-off series is going to be me playing Ted. And Skylar's going to sing Happy Birthday.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Beneke. Happy birthday to you.
Phil, it's Nick Cage. Listen.
Sorry, Nick Cage. Hi, Lotus. Come here. Come here. Go lie down. Go in the chair. Good. So we got one more voicemail here tonight. Let's play. It's a short one, but it should be good.
Hey, Butter. This is Shoehorn O'Plenty calling.
Thank you. Thank you for that call. And that is a great place. Let's take some live chats here before we call this a night. I'm waiting for the zombie meth in the finals. Tim says, chubby, cheek aged like Milk's Crow Feet, Jesse Pinkman and Watermelon Cap, Walter White cameo. They have Jesse's snitch tape that was at Jack's compound. The cop knows everything about Saul. All of it. Cinnabon manager says, Kim will get a job at the Hinky Dinky and we'll see a montage of her making a food. Henry Hudson says, maybe Kim will ride in on a dragon and burn everyone down. Kim and her mom have to come back, says Teflon. The next episode shows a crossroads, and I think we will get to a literal crossroads at one point in time. Maybe she went there in essence, but to close as Kim. Kim will get her own movie like El Camino to explain her fate. Pete doesn't like the Don and Phil. I think that's from what I've seen. I haven't got any messages from anybody to be on any podcasts about that. Vince is amazing. Don't want it to end. Got to be more coming. I'm going to follow Vince and Peter and their whole team to whatever show they do next and recap and review it too. And I hope you guys join me for that one as well, whether it's in this particular universe or not. These guys are some of the best people ever to make television shows. And I think they're still at the top of their game. So I can't wait to see the next projects that they do after this. And I think we're in for some good stuff. But even if not, they've still been a part of two of the greatest TV series of all time. And we've still got 3 more episodes to go to see how they conclude this amazing story. And here we go. The tape was on the show. It was the tape that Hank and Gomez filmed of them confessing to everything. Yup, absolutely. That's all those situations. Cinnabon, like I said, everyone, if I'm asked, and I have the time to do something, I'll talk to anybody. I've never talked to that particular person, so I don't have any connective tissue to them, so I can't speak to that interaction or that ever happening in any way. Me and Tony jumping over there to do anything, which would be awesome. But I'm sure both of us would go over if we ever got that invite. That's all I'll say. If Tony and I got an invite over there, we'd both definitely go. 100%. So go over there in the chat section and invite Teflon and Phil. Hashtag invite Teflon and Phil on. And we'll go. We'll rock it. Right, Tony? We'll go on that fucking thing. We will gladly jump on there and have some fun. But anyways, everybody, let's take a couple more chats before we call this. I want Vince and Peter to make a Western show. I think that's what they're working on next. I think that's what I've heard is Vince's next project. I agree, Vince. I think Tony and I belong there. To add a lot to that discussion personally. Yeah, I would agree. I guess the moral of the Gilligan universe is this is a humanities degree, not for the STEM majors. So everyone, I want to thank you guys. You guys have been incredible tonight. All of our super chatters, all of our voicemailers, all of our members of the Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul cast and crew that have called in tonight to support the show. You've been fucking amazing. I'm craving a Cinnabon now too, Camel Toe Inspector. Camel Toe Inspector. Listen, when we have people in our live chat like Jack Me Off and Camel Toe Inspector, we need to keep things real and true. And tonight's been one of those nights. I might be Jennifer. I want that money. Send me the money. Send me those checks. I'm everybody. Oh, did it? I didn't see it get that high. Oh my goodness. But thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in tonight. I hope you guys will all be back next Monday night for more silliness and more fun. And if you have, and I'm going to try, I'm a little busy this week with some work things, but I'm going to try to put out a secondary Better Call Saul video this week. But if I don't, I'll definitely be back next Monday night after the episode airs for one more, three more. I mean, we're going to be back. We got 3 more episodes for Better Call Saul. I'm obviously going to be talking about some other shows after that, but this show is one of my very close to my heart, and it's going to be tough to say goodbye to it, but it's been a lot of fun to talk about the series tonight. But if you haven't already and you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Share the channel with a friend. Help pass this around like it's the plague to so many people. And each week our numbers have popped up a little bit. Last week we had 430 people tops. Tonight we had like 460. I think it was around that tops. Let's see if we can push over that 500 amount. But honestly, if we have anything over like 50, I'm happy. But we've been doing really well these last couple of weeks. So let's see if we can keep pushing this. Keep bringing more people, talking about this, sharing it. And make sure if you haven't already, you hit that subscribe button, hit that share button. I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Trapped inside a soul, feeling tired, burnt out, out of control. Your mind was a flower, your body lies on the earth.